everyone. Welcome to the Felicity, Optimist versus Cynic podcast with us, your hosts, Melissa and Fish. This is a Felicity rewatch podcast. We'll watch an episode each week and join you here to talk about it. A reminder, this is not a spoiler-free podcast, so there could be things that we mention that come up in future episodes of the show, but this is a really fun one, so stick with us anyway. I am Melissa, and I'm here with my glorious co-host, Fish. Fish, how are you doing today?
I'm glowing. I'm still glowing from yesterday.
Yep.
We had a lovely day yesterday. It was amazing.
Yep, it'll probably be about a week apart for all of you when you hear this, but we had a little chat with Mandy Foreman, who's letting us call her Mandy, and we feel very special. And I did my best to keep it cool and professional.
She did. She was very cool and professional until about 2 hours after the interview.
And I exploded.
At which point, yeah, she just, you have the picture of her in our, podcast overview. Just imagine Melissa just with her head exploding into confetti, rainbow colored confetti.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's pretty much what happened. Yeah.
I mean, I guess, I apologize because there were probably more questions of yours we should have brought in, but I was just trying to keep it together. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to keep it together. And I thought she added a lot of great context for this episode, but also like the whole show. I mean, there's stuff that she pulled in stories from all over the series, and but we got a lot of stuff that was really useful for this discussion. So we may reference some of it as we go through today.
Yep. And she did answer a lot of your questions. We didn't always remember to attribute them to you. Really, as Melissa said, we were trying to not explode during the interview.
It was a full-time job. We were so committed to not fangirling that it just, boy, was I having to contain it. But that's okay. That's okay. It was just latent energy. Yes. It did come out just later. Oh my gosh. A huge thank you to Mandy for doing that with us. And it's going to make this discussion even more fun because we have so many new insights to bring to it. And we'll just see how that impacts how Fish and I saw this episode. Because, hey, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about season 2, episode 21, the ARETHA Theory. This one originally aired May 10th, 2000. It was written by Andrea Newman. It was directed by Jack Bender. And here's a synopsis. After yet another interrupted date, Greg realizes Felicity is still not over Ben and dumps her. A depressed Felicity asks Meghan for a night on the town. Meanwhile, Julie tries to figure out how she feels about Sean after his declaration of love. Elena finds herself flirting with a friend of Tracy's. And Ben helps Javier shop for an engagement ring for Samuel. Hey, episode writer.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what friend of Tracy's?
That's not a thing.
Maybe they thought there was flirting going on with the guy who's doing her apartment.
No, that didn't happen here. That did not happen here.
Absolutely did not happen.
Well. Nor would that even have made sense.
Nope.
For this episode, if they tried to.
All she said to that guy was, "I'm going to kill Tracy." So.
Okay. Well, you know what, listeners, this is always an adventure. Seeing what the teaser for the episode was in TV Guide, the week that it was airing. Boy, they got that wrong. That's okay though. So look, this is a huge episode, I think, by any standards, because we're really it's a pinnacle of the storyline, I would say. So I have no idea, Fish, how you feel about this episode, and because we didn't watch this one together because we watched it early to prep for the Mandy interview. So I'm not really sure what Fish is going to say, listeners, but I will say, just in case Fish is going to be cynical about anything that happens in this episode, I want you to know that I am doing a love letter to this episode. So Fish can do anything she wants to do. And I will, for those who love this episode, you're going to get a love letter from me. so, so don't lose heart if there's even one critical thing said. It's okay. It's okay. I'm the voice that you need if you're a lover of this episode. If you're a Noel fan, I'm sorry. We've got nothing for you.
I like Melissa's preemptive apology for any and everything I said. I'm not saying it's unwarranted. I'm just saying it's awesome.
If it gets you concerned, if you're hearing anything you don't like, if you're a really big Ben and Felicity fan and this is your dream come true episode, you're going to get the dream from me and you're going to get something from Fish. What it's going to be, I don't know. All right. All right. So, gosh, Fish, where do we even start?
I mean, we have to start right outside the bar. I mean, everything in this episode, I think, kind of follows. I mean, even the Ben and Javier stuff ends up at the club.
That's true.
So, yeah, I don't think it makes much sense.
I know that I spoiled you a little bit on this last time where I was just like, Greg is putting himself out of his misery really like right away. Don't worry about Greg. It's going to be okay as soon as he gets outside of the bar. And then it happened.
Yeah. So the first thing I kind of noticed here is I do see the chia head. This moment of hair, this scene, I'm sorry, but I do see it.
Wasn't quite long enough yet to do the clips. She does some clips in her hair eventually. This must have been one of those phases.
Bad. I mean, look, I don't think chia head is actually a bad look on her. So,
fine.
It's not a nice thing to say anyway, but like, I see it. I also thought for Greg, I mean, I get it's the 90s. It is still really hard for a guy to pull off a jean jacket. And I think he does.
Oh.
So, I mean, props to him for that.
Congratulations.
Right. Mm-hmm. Greg, we're going to say some nice things about you. I don't know. He goes in for this sort of last desperate kiss. It looks good, but like her arms are crossed and in the way. And I don't know, whatever he got out of that.
You used the word desperate. I thought it was a goodbye kiss.
I thought he was trying to assess whether or not this was going to work. I mean, the way that he like put energy into that, he was like, I'm going to get from this kiss whether or not it's going to work, because he kisses her and then he pulls back and looks at her and says it's not going to work.
And she leading into that, we've literally stopped, moments after the last episode where she's left Ben on the floor in Epstein Bar. They're right outside. They're walking away. She catches up with Greg, who's walking away. And she's still like, I can't live like this. I can't do this anymore. Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God.
She's like, I cannot believe you just did that.
Yeah.
And he's like, really? Really?
I thought she was more making a commentary on Ben in that situation.
She said you to Greg. Like, I can't believe you just did that. Like, hit him.
But then I feel like she then said, like, I've got to tell him I can't live like this anymore. I feel like she then switched it to a focus on, I felt like she was trying to get Greg back on board in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely, I mean, like when he says it's not going to work, she kind of freaks. She's like, Greg. I do think she is trying to hold on to him.
This is what
Absolutely.
grasping at straws looks like.
Yeah. And Greg gives this whole speech, right? Um, it's like, you're not dating like me for me, you're dating me because I'm not Ben, which I completely 100% disagree with. Like, we have
Hmm.
talked at length about all the things that she appreciates about Greg,
Yeah.
right? It's not like
Well,
she
I
just
guess
dated anyone.
yeah, I guess it makes sense that this is his perspective. Like
Yeah.
this is what he's thinking is happening here. I think it's not giving himself quite enough credit that there's some sense to this match. There's
Mhm.
a reason why this relationship was starting between them. Um, I guess
Yeah.
if you're in his position and you're thinking you're really just trying to put a wall up with Ben and I happen to be there, it might look like that. Um, but I agree with you. I think there was logic behind this.
Yeah. They had shared a common interest. They like didn't just jump into it, you know. It was like over time, they had conversation. I mean, there was a real relationship there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, Felicity is very focused on Ben in this moment, and her response isn't like, that's not true. I really like you because XYZ. It was, I'm over Ben. Now, the third word out of your mouth should be Ben.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the response
It's a denial,
that
but it's a
gets.
total focus on the thing that he was like, this is what you're
Ex-
focused on.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the response she gave because it's the place she's in. But he's, he sees through it. And while I agree he doesn't give enough credit to their current relationship, he's like, look, it's not fair to me, and you can rectify it because clearly you both like each other.
Yeah, like Ben clearly wants you. You clearly want him. You can fix this.
Yep.
That's pretty much Greg's parting words from that conversation. It's just like, I can't,
He's
like,
like,
I'm
Greg
not buying
out.
this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's, it's just, you're so in denial and I'm so not anymore. And I can't unsee this. Like, I've had enough. He's just had enough. And
He
there's
has.
really no, despite her assurances, how would you believe her assurances at this point? It's like you are so like masking this from yourself
Mhm.
that there's no way you can be giving me the real story. And he's not even, and the thing is, as he exits the scene, it's like he's he's not even saying anything scathing about it. It's just like, I am willing to face reality, which is blank. It's just like, and
Yep.
it's like, I literally don't care whether you think this is reality or not anymore. Like, it's just, gosh, what a run he's had.
Yeah, still got a feel for Greg for the most part. You know, seems like a pretty good guy, minus that one episode where he was like terrible.
Yeah, and Fish, you and I kind of talked a little bit about this the other day, but like, what's your? I know we have one more Greg scene, but like, what's your sort of post mortem on Greg? Like, it's a weird word to use, but like, yeah, you were so concerned about him in that one episode. Um, where does it sit for you with all that you've seen since?
Yeah, I mean, I do still believe that he was capable of doing all the stuff in that episode. I don't think from a 90s audience, like a pre-Me Too era, it would have been seen as that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So, uh, generally, I think we've seen problematic aspects from most of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so he has his, just like everyone else. But if we, you know, compare across them, given the time, Greg seems like a pretty good guy, you know? For the time, Greg seems like a pretty good guy.
I think the thing that really strikes me about Greg is how much of sort of a template his character was. Like I've said it before, but like the broad strokes of what he was there to do, I think he did. Um, but as we really started picking apart each episode that he was in, it's like, wow, he's kind of a chameleon of whatever this particular writer's room wanted to have today. And it's like, we need somebody that Felicity can respect and admire and who can sort of stimulate that side of her brain. And so he's going to direct the health center and he's going to help her with her activism, and then he's going to run for office. It's like, wow, guys.
And he's going to have a
Just
cocaine habit.
that he's
And
overcome and he's on the
yes.
other side. It's like, oh, all that. Okay.
Yeah, but we're
Great
never
to
going to
meet you,
see
Greg.
that.
Yeah.
He's going to fix a child that Ben breaks. Um,
It's just like you can sort of it's sort of funny after a while that it's like, all right, he was sort of whatever we needed him to be in order for him to achieve the goal that his character was there to do.
yeah. First, he was in his like late 20s, early 30s. Then he was like 20, so he could run for office.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, he's it's a funny character, but I think, you know, he's meant to be the foil for Ben and really to get the audience invested in Felicity having a relationship with one of the core men that she, from season one, that she was deciding between. We need to get back on the interest of having her back with one of them. And so I think that enter Greg. And
yeah, I am really surprised how much of season 1 and season 2 she is not dating either one of the guys.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
it's a lot.
it
I
is
just sort
quite
of
a lot.
assumed she was with them for most of the time.
No, season two, we
Yeah,
see all
season
kinds of
2.
other people enter the scene, and it's not, it's just, she has little moments with each of Ben and Noel, but
Yeah.
we certainly moved away from that quite a bit in like the whole middle of season two. Um, so okay, let's head from here to Dean and DeLuca.
Well, I just want to stop for 1 minute on Felicity's face
Deal.
once Greg walks away. And I don't feel like there's any realization there. I think we saw the realization at the dance.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like she had this kind of, like, she wasn't just confused. She did have some acceptance with like a lot of like hesitancy or worry about it. Like she wasn't convinced that this is really like this is really going to turn out well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think in the script or something like that, it said, or wherever I read something about it, because I don't think I have the scripts anymore. It said she was supposed to be confused, but I didn't read confusion.
Interesting. I figured I figured confused would be the right word here. I think, because the whole speech from Ben in the bar happened the end of the previous episode, you kind of almost sort of forget that feeling in that moment as you see this aftermath. But I feel like in that altercation that they had, Felicity and Ben had with their words, it was like, I think Felicity knows that there's an attraction there, but she's absolutely terrified about it. And it's like, what do I need to do to push this thing down, to push this thing away? you know, I don't know if she had thought before that about what Ben was doing being a pattern, or about it being all just about the chase for him, or if those were words that came out of her mouth in that moment that she's going to sit with and believe.
I think
Um,
she had been thinking about it for a while. Those
okay.
sounded like things she had deep convictions about, and Felicity seems like someone who thinks a lot.
So this is a story she's been telling herself. And so it's like when confronted so aggressively with his like passionate pleas for like, listen to me, I'm interested, I'm changed, I want this. And she has to be like equally assertive about, this isn't real, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so she's fighting it so hard. And now here's Greg telling her, nope, it is real. Everything that you've been saying in your head is wrong. Like, you know, he has to basically completely disrupt the tape she's been playing in her own head in order for him to exit the situation, because he's doing this out of self-preservation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you guys do. I'm out.
Yeah.
This is it. No more Greg in this triangle. Not my deal. And so like he's just out, and for him to just say it in such a way that is like, whatever you've been saying to yourself to protect yourself, that's not it. I'm leaving because that's not it. You know, it's just, I
Yeah.
guess it would be confusing, or maybe there would be panic, or
Yeah, I have this worry. That's what I saw. She was like hesitancy to really accept it. Like, yeah.
I mean, there's no safety net anymore.
Uh, yeah, her safety net is has his butt in an NA meeting right now. Um,
For real. Yeah. Yeah. What a mess for him. Yeah,
you
so
know who's
that's,
not a mess?
oh,
Javier.
Javier's not a mess. Javier's in an exciting moment,
Yes.
and he is at Dane and
He's
DeLuca right now.
great upbeat music. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And Javier's super excited, although he does get a little distracted by the fact that Ben's hair doesn't have enough product in it. He's like, Ben, what is going on with the hair? I think the word he used was askew,
It's all
but
the skew.
yes, what he meant was you haven't dumped a gallon of gel in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not spiky. It's not, it's normal hair and it's not okay.
Yeah. Well, this is where Ben's going to recount. His hair has been the tell, and so
Hmm.
Ben is going to recount for Javier basically what we saw from the last episode. Told Felicity I loved her, or I really care about her, and Greg punched me and left me on the floor in Epstein Bar. And Javier's like,
It's so romantic.
Ben's like, really? No, though. Like, that's not what it felt like. Javier's
Yeah.
like, no, no, no. I'm telling you, you on the floor isn't the final chapter to this luscious story.
Also, just a little nitpicky thing. I mean, if Greg could really hit, which we heard from the last episode, why is there no cut on Ben's lip or bruise anywhere? I
Hmm.
mean, we remember the other fights.
Yeah.
There was bruising.
Yeah.
Apparently, Greg couldn't hit.
Well, we don't need a Ben with a bruised face for this episode, okay? Like, can you
At
imagine?
least this scene, I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, come on.
um, yeah. So I guess Javier's sort of like, let me try to inject a little perspective for you on this, but this is really not matching up with Ben's current experience of the situation. It's like punch on the face, romantic. I don't need romance. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Yeah.
Javier.
But now Javier's feeling even more romantic than ever, and he's like, "Well, I have a favor for you," and he's thinking about proposing to Samuel, and
Hmm.
Javier wants Ben's help picking out a ring. I don't know why he thinks Ben would be a good resource for that task,
And that is
but
so weird because I wrote down, like, Ben seems like he would have a good taste in jewelry.
oh, you think?
I think so.
Oh,
And
he
he
did
got the
pick out that necklace.
necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just seems like the kind of guy who like had a lot of female friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he, I don't know, he just strikes me as that guy who'd be good at it.
Oh,
And
okay. Well,
also, I I think Javier's gonna pick out whatever he wants, and Ben's probably just the guy who's gonna like sit there with him and agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And we've seen this budding friendship between them, and we've seen them go out for beer together. We've seen them, like this is not completely out of the blue. Ben and Javier have been having conversations, and
Yeah. And I love this about them because, I brought this up earlier. I don't know if it was season one or how much earlier, but this idea of kind of real-time male friendship that,
mhm.
they're helping each other out. And Javier is kind of, he's definitely invested in a relationship between Ben and Felicity. He loves them both. And, he's there for Ben and he gives him advice and he asks him for advice. And it's just like, men supporting men in like a positive, healthy way.
Yeah, and I also like that we've seen a growth in Ben in terms of him actually being honest with Javier.
Hmm.
Because, when they had that going out for beer moment, that Javier hated so much in terms of the beer and the lack of food. But
Just a wasabi pea.
a lychee nut. He in that situation, Javier went into that conversation thinking that Ben was pining over Maggie.
Yeah.
And Ben never corrected him. He said, "You think this is about Maggie?" And Javier realizes, like, oh, it maybe isn't. But Ben never then, like, divulges everything that he's thinking. So we see a conversation like this, and it makes me feel like they have gotten to that place.
Hmm. Yep. And Javier, I mean, look, he is wrapped up in the unbelievable romance of everything that is going on. I mean, Ben getting punched in the face, him getting a ring, romance is in the air, and Ben has this like fantastic sarcastic sigh.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, really?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, we're gonna go from there to the
Pornographic balloon
most
pumping.
the most suggestive scene. So, well, I thought it was air mattresses.
They are, but those are balloon pumps for like children's parties. I actually used to do balloon animals,
Okay.
and I had one of these in purple. And I know, things you're learning about
This is
me.
the best thing I've learned all day. And I'm not sure I'm going to top this for at least a week. I
But yeah, so the pornographic balloon pumping or air inflatable mat pumping
Mhm.
um, was awesome.
It's the motion that was important
Yes.
here. It didn't matter what task they gave them as long as it involved the motion of, like,
Yeah.
continuing to pump an air pump. And we've got a scene in the loft with Julie, Elena, and Felicity having a conversation about their respective guys while pumping air mattresses. I know it's random, but it makes
It's
all the
not
sense in the
random.
world.
Yeah. No, it's not random. These three women really need a girls' night out.
They
I mean,
really need a girls' night
they
out, and
really, really need a girls' night
how
out.
this was the first idea, I don't know. What I am going to enjoy later is that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Ben and Felicity sit on her air mattress when they're on the roof.
Really? I
with
didn't notice
pillows
that.
stacked up behind it. Um,
I didn't notice what they were sitting on. I only noticed that she had like a blanket around her with fringe on it.
Yeah, I think there's a shot of them when that scene starts from the back where you can see like the landscape of them sitting down and the movie that they're watching all in one, all in one frame. And I looked at it this time. I'd never thought about it before. I was like, are they sitting on the air mattress? Because they look like they're basically on the ground with their feet directly out in front of them. They weren't in proper chairs. It's like, I think it's the air mattress.
I thought they were just sitting on the roof, but like it absolutely could be because it would be freezing sitting on the concrete.
Sure would. Yeah. So, okay, we have this Julie, Elena, Felicity scene, and they have some information to share with each other.
They have
And
not had a good girl talk in a while.
I'm so glad the girls come together in this episode.
Yeah.
And in many scenes. Um, they're
I
sober in
love
this one, which is nice.
I love that the first thing out of Elena's mouth is Meghan told me. It's like, remember when Meghan told everybody about Felicity's business? She's still that person.
That's what's happening still. Yep. And so Elena is the one who's like, Meghan told me that Greg broke up with you.
You and Greg broke up.
Yep. And she's talking to
Uh,
Felicity, and Felicity's like, well, yeah. And Elena's like, kind of,
Greg dumped me.
yeah. Elena's kind of like, wait, why didn't you even say that to us? We've just been sitting here. This is kind of, I don't know. Felicity's like, well, I guess I didn't say anything because I haven't been thinking about it.
Yeah. To which Julie, in her super cute green 55 shirt, hair and earrings, goes, not thinking about being broken up with. Like, teach me how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Felicity gives the rest of that story. She's like, well, okay, so Ben interrupted us at dinner and he said all these things. They were so great, but they're so crazy.
And Elena's just like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah, Julie and Elena definitely know what's up here. And, Felicity is just clearly confused. She's like, Ben thinks I'm not with him because I'm too afraid. Greg thinks, she's like, here's what the guys think. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, she's basically like, Greg said this, Ben said this. I thought they were both crazy, but now I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, again, that look that she had did not seem to me like a you're crazy Greg look. That seemed like a oh shit, you might be right look.
Yeah, this is Felicity's, last bit of time here to be as resistant as possible, but she's starting to have to cave. It's like at a certain point, there's too much evidence to
And
support the
then,
theory.
yes. And then they're going to do a little one-upsmanship.
Mm-hmm. Well, Elena is like, Tracy's a virgin, won't have
Mhm.
sex till he's married. Top
Stop
that.
that.
And the way that lands is so perfect because Julie and Felicity are both very aware that like Elena, this is probably not going to be satisfying
Yeah.
for Elena. So it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
how
that's
did you
not
find that
good.
guy?
I know. It's like some of us have been searching for a nice, like, religious boy for so many years, and somehow you got him?
the
Ugh.
greatest problematic mismatch. Like for everything that they're so perfect with each other for, like that is a serious misalignment. And I think
Yes.
she only needs to drop those couple lines for them to know the problem.
And then I'm not sure that Julie actually tops her. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, she says Sean told me he's in love with me.
yeah.
Like, ooh. And they're wondering, how does she feel about that? And she says she doesn't know how she feels.
Yeah. She
What do you
maybe. It's a maybe.
Hmm. Is that what you thought she would think?
No. I thought she would think, hey, we're friends,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, it'd be like an
Um,
open and shut case.
yeah. I don't know if she's just is like looking for a comforting guy, but like wants to be in a relationship. Um, but like, because I mean, Sean is that, but yeah, it seemed pretty cut and dry, and Sean seemed to think it would be pretty cut and dry, even though
Hmm.
he went for it. So kudos to him. But
So this is a bit of a surprise that Julie is kind of on the fence. It's like,
yeah,
didn't know there'd be a fence here. Um, all right. Well, they kind of just drop all that information from each other. They're all now fully caught up and they all just kind of sigh and continue air mattress pumping.
hmm sometimes aggressively. I mean, I will tell you, those pumps are not easy,
Yeah.
and you do get tired.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they would like stop and then they would like aggressively pump and then they'd stop, like I feel them.
You've been
Like,
there.
I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, you and your years of making balloon animals. I can't even imagine it. I'm sorry.
I
I
know.
can't.
I had all of these like bags of balloons that I could turn into different animals and a purple air pump, and I did it. And look, you're just gonna have to accept it.
I'm fully willing to accept it and it makes me so happy.
I mean, you
Um,
know that my first job was as a ballroom dancing instructor.
but I don't see how that's connected to balloon animals.
It's
I've
another
ballroom
weird
danced.
thing that you wouldn't have thought of me. Like
Okay.
if you just met me, ballroom dancer doesn't like competitive ballroom dancing does not. I don't scream that.
No,
Nope. I
no, you
also
don't.
don't scream balloon animal artist.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is amazing. It's like, so if I ever was like, for my birthday, all I want is like, I don't know, like a balloon monkey. You can make it happen.
I could make it. I don't know if I could get it to you without it popping. And I'd also have to buy another pump since it's long gone and more balloons. But
Well,
yeah, I could do that.
interesting. Okay. Good to know. Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm learning all kinds of things here this weekend, and that is one of the best. So, okay, we are now going to go into a Ruby and Noel scene.
Yes, which will have so many button down shirts.
Oh,
All of the extras have been given button down shirts as well. There's like two extras that don't have button down shirts on.
it's another reason why this should have been a to be continued with the last episode, I guess.
Yes, because the bulk distribution of button down shirts it continues. Okay, so I know that you don't really notice fashion. I kind of wonder if you would have noticed this, but at least for me, men wearing button down shirts, having them unbuttoned to the point where they're showing chest hair, that does not seem like a 90s thing.
Oh,
That I don't remember this. This seems like a weird Noel thing. Uh, Do you remember this? Was this a thing? Listeners, she doesn't know. Do you remember this? Was this a 90s thing that I just missed? Um, it's very off-putting.
okay. I hear you. I hear you. I can't corroborate anything, but I hear you, and I have logged your concern. Um, listeners are gonna have you're gonna have to be the truth tellers on this one because I can't help you there. This is another, another scene where it's important to remember what just happened in the last episode. So when we were leaving off of the last episode, Wade had awkwardly showed up at the loft during game night, and Ruby and him go out on a date or go out to talk. I don't know what they were calling it, but They were going
I
out
don't
to
think
have a
it was a date.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there's that awkward introduction, self introduction between Noel and Wade. And then they leave. And so we have no idea what happened while they were out. And now we're picking up the next day. And Noel's seeing Ruby for the first time. It's after class. And he's like, "You were out with Wade for a while. We're all in the loft. I know when you came back." Yeah. He's like, "How did it go?" And this is her chance to sort of debrief with him. And she isn't really giving him lots of specifics. She's just like, "Yeah, we went to Empire Diner. We talked all night." Doesn't really seem like Ruby wants to talk much about Wade.
Nope. I mean, Noel's being very understanding. He's like, look, this guy's here. He's your baby daddy. Like, you want to invite him over to the apartment. It's cool. And Ruby's like, nah, just want a quiet night in, rent a movie.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna join me? And Noel is just so happy. So happy, and says yes.
Yeah.
Clearly, Noel is starting to give Ruby what I consider his Felicity look.
Uh-oh.
It's this like really intense, nothing else in the world exists except for you. And it just goes on and on through this whole episode.
Yeah, this is unfortunate because it's like she's got a lot going on here. This is scary for Noel.
Julie was into Noel as well, apparently. And now Sean's on the move, which I hope just ended that. I mean, he's got girls coming out of the woodwork for him at this moment. Felicity isn't one of them.
Yeah, I guess
and
so.
His whole world is, he is really giving her the look.
Yeah. Well, to be continued on that part. So we are going to transition over to a scene at Noel and Elena's apartment where Elena wants to get into her apartment. She does. Well, Tracy's covered in dust. He happens to be walking out while she's approaching the door from, outside. He's covered in dust. Covered.
He has an N95 mask on.
Yeah.
And
like, oh.
I wrote down, it probably is done and looks great inside. Not so much.
Yeah, you thought they were trying to do a mind trick on you. Well, it was not to be, Fish.
No.
Because he is definitely trying to make sure she doesn't enter the apartment. He's like, no, you don't need to go in there.
I can get anything for you.
Anything at all. And then she obviously looks like she's going to go into that apartment no matter what. And he's like, okay, you know what? Let me just leave first. Let me just get to the elevator. I'm going to get as far away from this building as possible. And then you go in. Okay. That's the plan.
Yeah. Well, and ahead of that, he has a very effective way of dealing with Elena. He's like, look, don't get mad. I'm almost done. Gives her the smile and then proceeds to just continue to kiss her until she's just all butterflies. And then he's like, all right, you stay like that. Just stay just like that. I'm going to go run for the elevator. You stay. He clearly has what I would consider rational Elena wrapped around his finger.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows he does not yet have emotional Elena wrapped around his finger, which is why he's like, hun, just give me 3 steps. Give me 3 steps towards that door.
Yeah. And boy, is that mood going to be burst in a second because she enters the apartment. My notes say, still apocalyptic.
Mine just say under, it's probably done and looks great. Nope. Underlined.
Yeah. She walks in and the dust is in the air. Vincent comes over and actually gives her a mask to wear.
Yes, because she starts coughing.
Yeah. He's like, everything's okay. It's fine. It's all good. No worries.
And she just says, I'm going to kill Tracy.
Tracy
He's
is
a
a dead
dead
man. I'm
man.
going to kill him.
And Vincent's standing there going, why? It's fine.
It's all part of the process.
Not a
Yeah.
problem. Not a problem.
Well, in other awkward at the door interactions,
Oh.
we are at the loft, and Felicity is okay. Felicity's walking up to the loft door to open it, and she's pulling out a key. Did all of them get keys for the loft?
I mean, at least she did.
I guess so. There's a lot of people staying at that loft right now.
I can't
Um,
imagine they gave Meghan one.
Probably not. That's a lot of keys to make on short notice there, but they've done it, I guess. And so Felicity is getting about ready to, she's looking for the key so she can open the door, but she doesn't need to because who opens the door to go out?
Mm,
None other than Ben.
Ben.
Mm-hmm. And we have, you know, the classic lines from the show Felicity all back to back. Hey, hey, can I talk to you for a second?
Well, there's this moment though. It's Ben just sort of smiles and looks down and walks past her and doesn't really say much.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't say much. And I wrote, like, I really felt this moment. They're just like dragging our hearts on the floor.
Yeah.
Um, and then, she turns around and is like, yeah, can we talk? And they just stand in the hallway to talk. Like, it's not like they go back inside or anything. They're like,
It's probably more people in the loft than there are in the hallway.
yeah, but like, I still thought it was a little weird that she was like, can we talk? And Ben's like, sure, I'm staying right here.
Yeah. Well, if you're him,
Yeah.
do you want to come even 1 foot closer after what happened last night? I mean, again, I think this is where it's like such a shame that, it's a week between airings for everybody, including us. Because it's so easy to forget that the last time they saw each other, Greg had just knocked him onto the floor. She goes to check on him and then she leaves him on the floor and goes and runs after Greg. That's all he knows. And
Yeah,
that's weird.
I thought this whole scene was weird because she says she wants to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw from him is a little bit of hope, and he starts fidgeting. It's like he's trying to keep his cool, but he's fidgety. He seems like he's freaking out a bit. Um, he's got this nervous energy
You saw
around him.
hope in it, though.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
and then when he came out and actually says what he's going to, I was like, wait, what?
Well, I think if you were seeing hope, that would not match up. I mean, she says basically like, I shouldn't have left last night.
I shouldn't have left you on the floor.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know where she's going with that though, really.
I
Shouldn't have
mean,
left you on the floor. Okay. Um,
yeah. I mean, Greg did just dump her. I mean, that was the
mhm.
result of her going outside. So actually, yeah, maybe she should have stayed inside if that was going to be the outcome anyway.
Yeah. So Ben's gonna ultimately say, well, you know what? You were right. This is a pattern. It is about the chase. Like, go do your thing, sort of cadence to it. And yeah, it is. If you saw hope in his look earlier, then that wouldn't really match up here. I think maybe it was hope before she opened her mouth. I think if she opens her mouth and she doesn't say, you were right about everything, I love you, like maybe this would have gone differently. But she doesn't really make any bold claims.
Well, she doesn't even say that Greg and her aren't together anymore.
Yeah. So I guess if you're Ben, what do you do with it once she's actually spoken these words? It's like, just like give, I guess the thought here is like, I need to give her space. I need space. I need to give her space. We all need space.
Well, what he says later is, I've given up. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
done. I'm just done. Yeah.
um,
And she looks so like sad and disappointed. And it's like they're just standing there breaking each other's hearts over and over and over again. It's upsetting.
it's
It's
not,
upsetting.
it's, yeah. Uh, so where does Felicity go to get comfort?
I mean, where anyone would go.
Meghan
To
Roten.
Meghan.
Yeah. We cut to her saying to Meghan, they're
They're
in
in
the
the
bathroom.
smallest possible bathroom. For a loft that is that size, to have such a small bathroom that is in such desperate need of renovation, um, I don't know.
Are
What's
there
going
two
on?
bathrooms in this loft? Because didn't you say, remember that one scene, was it documentary two, where Ben looked like he was behind a shower door?
Yeah,
This was a tub with a shower curtain, wasn't
I don't even remember if there was a curtain. There's definitely
it?
there was no um there's nothing that looked like the frosted glass shower door.
Yeah.
So it probably, I mean, it's a huge loft. It probably has multiple, I mean, maybe multiple bathrooms, um, not just two. But this one is a dingy little old tiled, like porcelain pastel tub. Like it is in such desperate need of renovation, and it is so small.
Mm-hmm.
And I
We're going
love
to have
it.
a bunch
I
of footage
love
in
it.
this bathroom
Yes, I
during this
love it.
scene, which is so bizarre. But so we see Meghan like getting ready in the mirror, and Felicity just says, I'm depressed. I'm depressed, and I
I'm
need you to
confused.
take me out.
I need to forget about Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God. So we see Felicity just standing, and I think we see her reflection in the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know who she's talking to. And she says, I'm depressed, I'm confused, I need to forget about Ben. I need you to take me out. And then the mirror closes and Meghan is revealed.
Yeah. And then she
And
just keeps
oh my
talking through
God.
it. And she's like, I want to go to you have this weird world, and I want you to take me to that weird place.
It has distracting stuff in it. So she can forget about Ben.
Potentially exciting things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
goodness.
Meghan in this scene, oh my God, she looks fantastic. Her hair is fantastic. She has this like green eyeshadow and a red cami. Um, her nails, her nails will later match her like lipstick, and those
Mm-hmm.
giant crucifix earrings. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, damn, Meghan.
There you have it, folks. Your fashion correspondent. There's, I'm sure, plenty more where that came from in this episode.
Oh, oh yes.
Yeah. So Meghan is eventually going to be worn down here, and Meghan agrees.
She's like, fine,
Yeah.
fine.
But Felicity needs moral support here. So she's going to go to Julie and Elena, and she's going to convince them, like, we need a girls' night.
Hmm.
Pumping up air mattresses is simply not enough for three college students. This is not it. Okay. We need to go out.
We should all follow Meghan.
Yeah.
That's her pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how that works. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, Julie is full on product placement mode, baked lays all over this episode.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, but they
okay.
agree.
All right.
They
So we're
all
going to get our
agree.
little bathroom montage here.
Oh my God, this is my favorite.
It's so good, right? So the song that we heard was called Stay by Gigolo Ants. And it's just fun. There's just like a
Yeah.
fun getting ready sort of, this happens. Like I remember
Oh
this
yeah.
happening. When
Yep.
you're all getting ready to go out and you've all got one mirror to look
Yep.
into, and everybody's trying to use it and shave and everything that has to happen to get ready.
Yes.
And
This sort of like took me right back to like high school dances and like group dates and how we would all just like pile, like we all would go over to one person's house and we would bring a number of different outfits. And then
Mm-hmm.
we'd all be trying on all the outfits and then, of course, each other's clothes. And we'd be doing our makeup. And like 3 hours later,
Yep.
we were ready for a date. And I have to give major credit here to Felicity for pulling off red jeans because that's not an easy look. Um, it's just not.
I mean,
So,
she's
wow.
gorgeous. Yeah, they all have, well, they're all getting ready. That it seems like they all have pretty different styles that they're going with. I feel like Elena,
Yes.
well, I guess we'll get there in a second because we see their full look
Yeah, I
after
definitely have
this.
some stuff to say about everybody's looks.
Okay, so we head from this montage, this fun dancing montage to Felicity. There's a knock on the loft door, and Felicity goes to answer it, and Javier's there, who it's like, what's Javier doing at the
I
loft?
know.
um,
But the
and
second he showed up, I was like, he's going clubbing.
well, we have to find a way here to get him to know where they're going. So he's going to show up at the loft. His intention is to try to get Ben because they're supposed to go out to go ring shopping. So he's there at the loft to pick up Ben, and he sees Felicity. So he's like, oh, "Look at you, my little hot tamale."
Yeah, well,
he's
she's all in red. She's got the red paisley strapless shirt. I mean, that is gonna hurt by the end of the night.
mm,
But she's got such a great back and like with the short hair and the red jeans. Now, unfortunately, Julie then comes up,
no.
and this is a nightmare. This this is rough. Um, this is two non-matching floral prints,
Okay.
and that is just not something you do. Either one could be good with like something else. She's
Mm-hmm.
got a great necklace, and she actually has this fantastic jacket that she puts on later. And because she's so petite, it looks really good. It's like sort of a big military aviator, like olive, maybe leather jacket. And it is so needed over the mess that is her outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Elena, she's looking fancy in that sparkly red dress. Her hair is still not okay. I don't know why they just like kept going with this hairstyle. She's got herself a little shawl. I mean, you know, at one point, Felicity will put on a matching red jean jacket, which just ruins everything about her look. Um, but for now, we've got, I would say, like Felicity at the top, then Elena, then the unfortunateness that is everything Julie is wearing.
Well, I do have to say, I mean, obviously, there's no way that I could have cataloged, remembered, or even described any of the things they're wearing. But broad strokes, I do remember thinking, it looks like they're going to three different places.
Yeah.
Like Elena in particular, it looked like she could have just as easily gone to like a fundraiser benefit.
Yes. She was very fancy in the
Yeah.
sparkly red dress.
But so
Yeah.
Javier's noticing all this, but he's also agape at the loft itself because he hasn't actually been inside it before. He's like, this, you kids are living in this? Like, this is living. And Felicity's like, well, it's Sean's, it's rent control. He's maybe
Uh-huh.
rethinking that raise he offered her in season one for the green card marriage. I don't know. Um, yeah, it's a good, I think it's a good reminder that we've never seen this character in this location before.
Mm.
So I appreciated that he had that moment of acknowledgement and that they built that in. Um, but when Javier sees Julie, he's like looking at all of them. He's like, "Oh, all of you," and then he looks at Julie. He's like, "You look taller." that's his that's his commentary on how they're looking. But he makes it clear that he's waiting for Ben. Julie mentions that Ben's out for a run. Who he probably was just trying to get out of the apartment however he could. Um, and then Javier asks the very important question: where are they off to? Elena gives him flat out the answer. She says the T-Bone Club. And Javier looks shocked.
It's like the T-Bone Club? Really?
And
And then everyone's face kind of starts to look like maybe tonight is not a good idea.
they're all suddenly rethinking their let's follow Meghan plan as he's just
Yes.
like, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be okay. Have fun. I hope you're packing some heat.
Yeah. And Felicity's like, what heat? What?
Some what?
She has no idea.
Yeah.
Um, which
Yeah.
just goes to show you how even through almost her second year in New York, she has somehow managed to stay sheltered to the point
Mm-hmm.
at which, even though she was held up at gunpoint, she doesn't know what the term packing heat means.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes. Well,
and I do have to, I mean, look, I went over everybody else's outfit, so I have to go for Meghan's.
mm,
So straight hair, yes. Green eyeshadow, fantastic. She's now got the blood colored lipstick on that matches her nails. She's
mhm.
got a chunky silver necklace with a black top. I am in love with this coat thing. She's got kind of a sheer coat that it's got like feathers on the sides of it and kind of different sheer patterns as you go down the back of it. She's got like a shiny, almost satin looking, really dark red skirt with like um, like a belt with faux diamonds on it and black tights and this like diamond studded cross shirt with other stuff going on and a giant large silver clutch and silver earrings. She is ready to go.
Mhm.
She, I mean, everything, like she knows what she's doing.
Mhm.
She's ready to go to the T-Bone Club.
Yeah. Yeah, she's ready. She's ready for this. By the way, listeners, do you remember in the Mandy Foreman interview when she was talking about the people who were helping with all the like the makeup and the product, and they mentioned lip venom?
Yeah.
Or so fish lip venom is going to be a thing in season 3 for a scene, and I was just dying when
Mm.
she said that that was like their product. Um, Bit of an aside, but this you describing her outfit just sort of made me think about some of the stuff that
I have
Mandy was telling
used
us.
that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is, it's something.
I'm not sure if there's more. There's probably more than one brand of it. I'm guessing,
Yeah,
or I don't know. Maybe
I
it's
don't
just the
know.
one brand. Um, but yeah, that's going to be a thing on the show. So they
All
basically were
right.
doing product placement for their own crew, which is cool.
Yeah.
Not in this episode, but
No,
it
no,
just was
in
making
this
me.
episode,
Oh,
they do a product placement. Remember the things that Elena has over her eyes when at the
oh,
end?
right, right, right. Yeah, 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 yeah. So they
Yeah.
have. That's how we ended up on that topic. Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, we'll get there. But yeah, so we're now going to go to Megan's world.
Yep.
We were getting ready for Megan's world. Now we're in it, and
Mhm.
they're at first outside the club,
It has a
and
definite vibe.
and everybody's in line. People trying to get in. There's a couple people guarding the door, so people can't just walk in. And Earl, they're with Earl, and we're going to find out Lulu.
Yeah, if you don't recognize Earl, that is Kevin Weissman. And I
Mm-hmm.
just wrote down, is that Marshall from Alias?
Sure
It
is.
is.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Very different role.
very, very different role. And also Amanda Foreman's, like, when she was on Alias, Marshall plays her husband.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a whole thing.
Yeah. So this is a very different situation here. Earl obviously has connections in this club. So he talks to the guy who's managing who gets in and who doesn't. And I was calling him the bouncer, but that's probably not the
It
word for it,
is.
right? It is the
Yeah,
bouncer.
yeah, they're both bouncers. Sometimes you can call them doormen, but for this, no, they're both
They're both
bouncers.
bouncers. Okay.
And I mean, it was very hard for me to look at this guy when the other guy was like a tank.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
like, why can't we have more of that guy?
Yeah.
Like, this scrawny, like, weird dude is not necessary.
I thought he had good reaction. We needed facial reactions for him throughout the episode. So
Eh.
he's playing hard to get, but then he sees Earl and he's like, yeah, yeah. He lets him in, but he lets in Earl, Lulu, and Meghan.
Mhm.
And so you hear and then he kind of puts the not the barricade, but he hooks
Rope.
the rope back up to the stanchion, and they're shouting for Julie, Elena, and Felicity are behind it, shouting for Meghan, like, "Hey, we didn't get in!" And then Meghan turns around, she grabs Earl, and Earl, like the king that he is.
I know. Everything revolves around Earl.
Yeah,
I
he's
love
the
it.
man. So he's like those three, and then they get let in to what appears to be like, so the T-Bone Club kind of looks like a fetish club. Um,
It is a very weird club. It's sort of this like multi-tier industrial look inside with upside down umbrellas and Chinese lanterns hanging from a very high ceiling.
mhm.
And the clientele seemed to range from like, yeah, there's like a S&M kind of vibe, but then there's also like some guy with weird teeth and Ben Franklin.
Yes, I was gonna say there's a guy with like colonial era dress. I was like, that's where I
Yes.
got thrown off. I was like, okay, like some sort of an S&M. No, 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 because then there's Ben Franklin.
Yeah, it's like it's basically seemingly, there is a lot of leather, there is a whip at one point, but it seems like if you're, let's say, not mainstream
Hmm.
in any particular kind of cool way that they deem cool,
Hmm.
you're getting in.
Yeah, yeah, yep. That's what it looked like. I'm glad we both clocked the Ben Franklin looking person.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
he was
wild.
very hard to miss. He just sort of walks out, and I think he's doing a drug deal. I'm not quite sure.
Hard to say.
But it looks so much like a scene from Alias because,
Hmm.
all
It
of the
does.
brightly colored hair that they
Hmm.
then put on her at some points. I mean, I feel like this could have come directly out of Alias.
Yeah.
And they've got this house music, and I normally hate house music. I hate techno,
Hmm.
but I actually really like this song. I don't know. Like, I really
I
got
really like
into
the
it.
music that we heard. We were listening to the DVD version, and the song where they're actually dancing, I
Yeah.
love the song. Right
It's
now it's a little
also,
generic as they're just sort of walking in and we're getting a lay of the land. Um,
and
and
if you're watching this streaming anytime around when we're posting this podcast, I watched the DVD version and the streaming version, and every song was the same between them.
mhm,
So, yeah, they're the same.
yeah. Um, So, and to be honest with you, I love the music so much in this episode, but I made an effort to like go and find out what the original songs were. And in pretty much all cases, I liked the DVD songs much better. Um,
Interesting.
but I only started looking that up in the next scene where we see dancing.
Okay.
So I do think it's really interesting that once we are now in Meghan's world, Meghan sort of takes a new responsibility for her friends, if we're
Yeah.
calling them her friends.
Yeah.
She
Like
turns to
Big
Felicity.
Sister.
Yeah, there's big sister energy with
Yeah.
Meghan in this episode. And so she turns to Elena, Felicity, and Julie, and she's like, stay right here and don't eat anything anyone gives you. Now, what I find so funny about these scenes is that, from the conversation that we had with Mandy, yeah, for us yesterday, for you, is probably about a week ago. So she was saying, like, when you're in these scenes, the main characters are mic'd up. There's no music that's playing. They'll play like a little snippet of the song right beforehand, and then you'll go into it, and everybody will be dancing and miming things. But think about that. Like, they had to shout. She's like, stay right here. Can you even imagine like being on set and having to do that? And it would just so funny to me. Yeah, like as if you're talking over music that's not even there. I just can't with this.
No,
So the
it
whole
seems like such
concept,
a weird experience.
the whole concept of it is so fascinating to me. So anyway, any actors who are listening to this podcast,
Yeah,
if
we have a
you
lot of
ever are
respect.
in something, I live in LA. If you're ever shooting something where there's like a party scene and you have some sort of a guest pass, I would be so eternally grateful to be able to witness this play out. I just love it. I love it so much. So while Megan's goes away to get something for them, which we find out is going to be drinks, the other girls make a rule: no thinking about the boys, no thinking about Ben, no thinking about Sean, no thinking about Tracy. That's it. That's the
That's
rule.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
And Megan's gonna come back with some green concoction in like the most unbelievably heavy stemware, which I don't understand at all. That I mean, everyone is going to be dropping stuff, and those glass shards are going to be super like dangerous. So also it was probably expensive. So, club owners tell us, like, I've never seen stemware like that in a club.
Wow.
Like, especially not one like this,
Mm-hmm.
where people are dancing and it's dark and but we find out these are bonsai demons, which I then immediately had to look up. Um, and I found that they're normally called green demons, and they are a mix of Midori, that's a lemon liqueur, vodka, white rum, lemonade, and a lime wheel. And it looks like theirs also has a cherry in it. And again, Megan has to scream over the non-music, and her advice to them is to drink lots of these.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this first round's on Earl, so no
That's
skin
right.
off their backs. They're like, "What is this?" She's like, "It's bonsai demons, but if you have to ask, just don't even, just don't."
Yeah, just don't
She just
drink it.
walks away from them. And then we get to see them tasting it, and they all so it would have been really citrusy.
Yeah, and clearly quite strong because
Mm-hmm.
it's lemonade added to taste.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there was probably quite a lot of vodka and white rum.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the expression that we see on their faces is not, "Ooh, this was really citrusy." It's,
It's a
"Ooh,
strong drink with
alcohol
lots
is
of
burning
alcohol.
my nose."
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Well, we're going to go from here to the quiet night in that is Noel and Ruby watching a movie at the loft.
So romantic. Ruby thinks this movie is so romantic.
Yeah, they're piled up under a blanket. Fish, do you think that I wrote Affair to Remember?
That's exactly what I wrote. Well,
Okay.
not wrote, but thought. But here's the thing. At the point at which they are talking about it, it's the
Mm-hmm.
end of an affair to remember,
Mm-hmm.
and yet someone comes to join them for
So there'd
like
be
a
more movie.
large part of the movie. So I was like,
That's the
that
problem
doesn't
I
make
had with
much
it too, because
sense.
I was like, you wouldn't have that reaction to Affair to Remember until the end. Hey, spoiler alert for Affair to Remember. Everything Ruby says.
Pretty
But
much.
yeah, it doesn't really make sense that there'd be a lot of movie left if, yeah.
I also
Uh,
think it was, hey, let's forget about the name of the movie and just like have them watching something that we can have them talking about their own context.
yeah. So Ruby is contextualizing the film for us, she's crying. She's like, after her accident, he still wants to be with her.
I know.
Yeah. And Noel's like, well, it's because he's still in love with her.
And he's got the Felicity stare on.
Uh-oh.
He's just like nothing else exists except for Ruby.
Get a hold of yourself, Noel.
I'm beginning to think that they don't work out, Melissa.
Her baby daddy just showed up.
So what?
There's so many problems with this.
I could have seen them working out.
Okay. I mean,
but clearly they don't.
Maybe slow your roll just a second. I don't know.
It was a one-night stand with some guy who she wasn't even gonna tell.
Sure, but with the byproduct of the one-night stand is a baby that she's having, and the guy came to talk about it. It's like, maybe just, hey, wait a minute to figure out what's happening.
But she's coming on pretty strong to Noel. I mean, he does seem like he was trying to give her space.
I guess so.
But she's the one who's really laying it on thick for him. Yeah. And I think trying to get the Felicity stare.
Well, we're having this whole conversation here. She's crying about the movie. He's like, it's because he's still in love with her that he still wants to be with her. And she's like, well, but it would be totally understandable if he walked away. And I was like, but then he'd regret it. And she just says, wait a minute.
What are we talking about?
Are we still talking about the movie?
and their heads get closer and closer together. Their lips get closer. And then
Sean
comes in.
This felt exactly like Sean walking in on pumpkin carving from season 1. It's the bull in a china shop energy that we've been waiting for a long, long time. It's been a minute since we've seen this, but Sean interrupts them and just doesn't get it.
Nope. He's gonna sit down on the couch. He's gonna ask for some blanket. He's gonna stuff some baked legs in his mouth and say, got any dip?
Yeah. And this is not a far cry from Chinese food.
I know.
From season 1. Yeah. If you've got a move, you just got to keep using it. If it worked the first time, it can work again. That's what I say. Yep. Thanks, writers. We love this.
Fantastic. Good job.
And it's awkward. It's real awkward for Noel and Ruby here. It's like, this is not really what we thought was going to happen here for the rest of this film.
I mean, in all fairness, Sean is giving up his bed in his bedroom for Ruby. The nice pregnant lady who they are making walk up a ton of freaking stairs.
Yeah. We're actually going to see the loft part of the loft.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen it part of it before this episode? Yeah. Nope. Cool. So that's the first view of that angle of the loft, which we'll see again in the future.
I have a few things to say about it.
But Sean that's where he sleeps. And so that he let Ruby have that bed while she's staying with them, which is nice. I don't know where he's staying.
It's unclear.
I guess that's what the air mattresses are for.
I think the air mattresses are probably for the girls. He's probably got a couch, or he's crashing with Ben in his bed because, personal space isn't a thing for Sean.
He can use Ben's shaving cream or whatever, toothpaste. Yeah. Toothpaste. And he can sleep in Ben's bed if he wants to, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to switch from this to a Ben and Javier scene. They're actually looking at they're looking at a book of rings. Is that right?
No, they're looking at a book of stones because Javier's that's why you look at the stones. He's picking out the stones separately, and then he'll have to pick out the setting for it. So he's basically creating a custom ring.
Okay. So he's got one in mind, and he's showing that over to Ben. And Ben's looking like, I don't know about this one. And Javier's trying to figure out why. He's like, what is it? Is it brazen? Is it garish? Is it chintzy? And Ben's like, yeah, that's the one. A little chintzy.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you get garish and chintzy? Those two things seem very different.
He was just trying to like find a word that Ben recognized. Um, Ben's like that one. I know chintzy, or I'm gonna go with chintzy. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is where I wrote down, Ben is a good guy who does shitty things. Because he's such a good guy here. He's sitting here in the middle of the night. There's a night shot in Dean and DeLuca,
Yeah.
helping Javier with his custom ring. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
And the shitty things being that he told Richard about Greg, or are you thinking something in
yeah.
this episode? Okay.
No. I mean, he told Richard about Greg. He
Yeah.
didn't kind of follow through or understand or respect what Felicity needed.
Yeah.
He broke her heart. He broke that kid. He's done some shitty things.
Yeah.
Breaking the kid was not on purpose. I get that. But he stalked her, you know.
He's had this real frenetic energy specifically around Felicity and because of that around Greg. And I
but also
think
the gambling,
yeah, well,
and the
yeah.
stuff he did earlier, he's messed up quite a bit.
He's
Quite
got
a
some
bit. All the
stuff to work through.
fighting, yeah.
Mhm.
But
then,
he's at the heart,
there's this side of him.
Yeah, he is. I don't think he's a bad person. I think he is a good guy who just sometimes does shitty things.
Yeah. 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 So this conversation is so hard.
It's hard, but I also love Javier's line.
Yeah. So they're looking at the rings, but obviously this is also affording them an opportunity to talk. And they're in a private, they're at Dean and DeLuca, it's like you said, after hours. So it's just them. And Ben, so Javier says, well, maybe you look for one for Felicity. And Ben's like, no. I've given up on that. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of getting, he's just sick of it.
Yeah, he says, I've just given up. And Javier goes, no, you can't give up on diamonds.
He's like, no, I've given up on Felicity, the whole woman.
Yeah.
And Javier, this is sort of borderline alarming to Javier, but he gets a little bit like mentor energy here. It's like, oh no, I have to intervene. So he's trying to intervene with words at first, and he's like, no, Ben, she loves you. She's just afraid.
Which is what Ben said to her the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone sees it but her.
And then he's like, okay, well, maybe what I need to do is drop a little truth, a little current events for him. So Javier says, well, Greg dumped her.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben's like, what? And he's like, yeah, like a sweet hot potato, a yam.
Yam.
I just love this line, which is new information for Ben.
But he doesn't look particularly energized or happy.
No, because he's still given up, but it's like Javier's trying to inject some hope here. And he's seeing it's not landing. He's seeing that Ben really has given up. And so Javier's like, next strategy, new level.
Yep.
Take Ben to T-Bone Club. So he's like, you're coming with me.
Must put them in the same room, club, area together.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we are now going to go back to the T-Bone Club. We are aware that Javier and Ben are on the way, but they're not there yet. And so we need to see what's going on for the ladies. And we get to the club. And we see Felicity, Elena, and Julie are sitting at a high top table having their drinks and looking on as Meghan is dancing by herself on a pedestal.
Well, she's up on a go-go dancing station.
Okay.
And she's alone. But obviously, when you go to clubs, They can be in various forms. Some are just for one people, some are for two. This one's big enough for two. We'll see
Mhm.
later. But
Yeah,
she's there alone for the moment, and she's dancing on beat. She's dancing very
she sure
well.
is. And so the original song here was supposed to be something from it's like a club remix from a song from Pumas that I didn't like at all. And when
Mm.
I listened to it from the original soundtrack or from the original airing, but what she's dancing to in the DVD and I guess the streaming version is a song by a group called Bubbles called Biddy Body Biddy Boo. And it
This is
is
such a great song.
so freaking cool. I ever everything first of all, because this song is long enough that it carries through not only for those who are dancing on the go-go pedestal or the go-go platform, but it's also still the song that the ladies are dancing to when Ben and Javier will walk in later, and it works perfectly for both.
Yes.
And it makes Meghan look so cool.
Yeah.
Um, I can't with that song, guys. Bitty Body Bitty Boo from Bubbles.
And again, I, for the most part, hate house music and
Mhm.
techno. And this song was awesome. I
Yeah, if you
mean,
guys liked Puma's Gonna Love You remix, I'm sorry. This is better.
look, I
Okay.
haven't heard that one, but I think it would be hard to top this.
I think it would be
I'll go
hard to
listen
top
to it
this, and it also
later.
has a very different vibe. It almost has like a light disco vibe. It's like
Oh,
no, no, no,
no,
no,
I agree.
unacceptable. Guys, just watch a DVD version of this, please. Bubbles, bitty body, bitty boo.
Or just play that song over the,
That'll work
original
also. You
version.
can find this on YouTube, I promise you. I've found it. It's great. Um, and Felicity says exactly what I'm thinking in this moment. She's like, how come all of a sudden I worship her
Yep,
about
yep.
Meghan? It's
It's
like, me
maybe
too.
the like 3 or 4 bonsai demons that you've had, but also amazing dancing on a go-go station in an amazing outfit,
To Bubbles Bitty Body Bitty
just
Boo.
rocking it. I mean, everything is working for her. But she's willing to get down off the go-go station because she wants to go over to Felicity and tell her that look, Earl wants to dance with her, but she doesn't think Felicity's going to do that because Felicity's a wuss.
Yeah, she throws down the challenge. This is the gauntlet. Throw down. Ah, my goodness. And Felicity's not taking that sitting down. She's like,
So
no, watch and learn. I'm doing this thing.
right. She's going to go right up on that same platform with Earl,
Gonna lift Earl up next to her and
and she's just going to go at it. I mean, she's got this great dance move with her hands like over her head,
mhm.
and she's going to do that on a go-go platform, which made me a little worried that one or both of them would fall off.
Mhm.
Um, but it's a hot move. It's just, I think she realized fairly quickly after that it was not the most stable one. So she like turns around and, you know, dances with her back to him.
Yeah. And I have to say, he danced very well too here.
Yeah. Well, everything that Earl did was amazing. From like walking in the door and being like,
Yeah, he's speaking in like tongues or something. He's got like another language that he speaks with the bouncer.
yeah.
Yeah. Don't adjust your whatever device you listened to this on. Like he actually was speaking in a made up language.
I think he was just making noises.
Or
And
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, and everything he's so perfect in this episode. He
And
really
he's
is.
so, and the way he's dressed is amazing because he's got like the Javier yellow glasses with, I don't know, it's it's still an industrial look, and it I feel like it could have very easily gotten to steampunk. They could have thrown on a
Mm-hmm.
pair of goggles and it would have been awesome. They didn't quite go there, but yeah, everything about his personality, everything about him like being the man of the club, everything about what he's wearing, like who isn't in love with Earl? Everyone's in love with Earl.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I am. Cheers, three cheers for Earl in this episode. Everything he does, including his fight with Lulu later.
Hip hip
Um,
hooray!
yeah,
Hip
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 hip hip hooray!
hooray!
One more, hip hip
Hip
hooray!
hooray!
We did it. So we're now going to see, because we know this whole time as we're seeing all this play out, this awesome stuff playing out at the club. We know that Javier and Ben are on their way. They have arrived. They are outside at the same bouncer.
This bouncer, I can't with him. He's such a douche.
Yeah. You know what made me crack up though? Javier goes up to the guy. He and Ben go straight to the front of the line, and Javier holds up two fingers. He's like, two, please.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not how this works. That's really not how this works. It's like you're not ordering a table at a restaurant. That was so cute though. And Javier is getting really frustrated with this guy. He's like, don't play Mr. Unyielding with me. Like, I have things to do inside the club. You're ruining the whole show. He's so indignant. Oh my goodness. And the bouncer says, well, if you're a guy, you have to have a date to get in.
Which is not what any bouncer ever says.
This is not the rule. Yeah.
No, the rule is if you're a guy, you have to have girls with you because guys buy girls drinks, etc., etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
So they like
Okay,
specifically had to change this so that we could get our next moment.
Yeah, yeah. So Javier's like, you can see the wheels. You can actually see the wheels turning here for a second. He's like,
Yeah.
so that's your rule, huh? So he's like, okay. And he turns to Ben. He kisses him straight on the lips. And he says, Tuesday is our 5th month anniversary. And the bouncer's just like, all right, fine. You got me there. I gave you one job. You did it.
I don't know. I didn't like this because I guess in the 90s, like being gay was cool enough to get you into a club. It was sort of like a kink or something. And it's just like, really? I mean, really?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that he was like, "Oh, you're gay. You're kissing another dude. You must be like an outcast and cool enough to get in."
Ah.
So I don't
There
know.
you have it. Either way, guy lets him in.
He does.
Ben's still so confused, by the way, through this whole thing. Like, he's like, why are we going through this whole rigmarole? Can I just go home? Like, he just has no context for what they're doing at this location.
How patient is Ben, right?
Yeah.
He's like been dragged all the way up here, like kind of rejected, like kissed, and he's still following Javier into this club. I mean, I guess he's like in for a pound, in for a penny, in for a pound or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Oh my goodness. So now we're inside the club and Bitty Body Bitty Boo is still playing. They get inside. Ben is finally like, what are we doing here?
He's just like, why, Javier? Why?
I don't understand. Javier's desperately trying to scan the crowd to see if he can see the people he knows,
which he never would have found in real life.
Yeah, and he does. They apparently have direct eye line.
Yeah, direct eye line and a spotlight.
Yeah,
just like right over them in a completely dark club. Yeah. And I love this moment because Ben just stares at Felicity, and Felicity.
Javier's like, over there, look over there. We're going to see all the girls dancing. And now.
Yeah. But Ben is direct eyes to Felicity. Felicity is having a great time. She is dancing to this Bubbles song like none other. And all like we start to see it from Ben's perspective.
At the moment where the
And
song goes, whoa, whoa, whoa,
yes,
whoa, and you just see.
which directly corresponds to Felicity shaking her ass in the red jeans, and his eyes are like glued
She's looking really
right
hot
there.
right now. It's like ridiculous. Like they're all having a really good time. All the girls are having a lot of fun. Everybody seemed to know what song they were dancing to here, even though this is a different
I
song.
don't think it really mattered what they were dancing to. You had a beat, and that's all you need.
Well, for the part where we're so very much looking at Felicity's dance moves, it really did need to line up. And
You
for me,
mean
it matched
Felicity's
perfectly.
ass.
Yeah.
It,
You
it
just need something that's going to be like, this is sexy. Like,
yeah.
you need
The
music that
music was
highlights
hot. The
this.
music
Yeah.
was hot. And it
And
fit with the stare and it fit with the dancing. And I
so,
can't say enough good stuff about this song. It was
it's
amazing.
interesting because like Ben, like you said, he's staring. I put a gape. He's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like that, like slight gasp for air. But then he looks down again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, for a
Well,
second we
she
had him.
sees him and
Mm-hmm.
everybody sees him and they're all pointing at him.
Yeah, Elena points out Ben to Felicity, and Felicity's like, oh god, this guy. And then Ben looks down,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh man, we're back to this.
But
And he's
Javier will
deflating on
not give
himself a
up.
little. Yeah.
Yeah. Javier's he's not gonna take that. He's gonna
Mm-hmm.
grab both of them. He's gonna pull them outside.
Yeah.
And Felicity is gonna look slightly less hot now that she has put on the matchy red jean jacket,
Oh.
which is just way too much. Um, and Javier's like, look, I love you. I love you. Nobody loves you more than me. Please, just talk while
Mm-hmm.
I go imbibe more Midori lemonade, vodka, and white rum,
Okay.
a lime wedge,
He wants one of
and
those
a
bonsai
cherry,
demons.
because they're delicious.
Mm-hmm. So this is, okay. So this whole chat that we're gonna get more than one little scene here with Felicity and Ben having this same conversation outside the club. In this first one, it's very awkward, but it's like Felicity's a little drunk
Hmm,
and Ben is
not.
not drunk at all and just figured out why he's even there.
Yeah.
Like it's like, what do I even say? I have given up on this. Like, I don't know that Ben certainly doesn't have a plan for this moment. And
And
Felicity
I
does
feel
not have
so
the
bad
wherewithal
for,
to have a plan.
yeah, I feel so bad for Greg throughout this whole conversation.
Yeah. So Felicity is the one who breaks the ice. And frankly, she kind of has to because I mean, Ben did not have a plan for this. And Felicity doesn't have a plan either, but at least she's got lowered inhibitions. So
Mhm.
she's like, I'm glad you apologized to Greg. Didn't tell you that before, but I am.
Not because she actually cares about Greg, but because it makes Ben a better person that she can date.
Yeah, that tracks for me. And then he's like,
Yeah.
well, it was screwed up what I did. And he just kind of acknowledges that. And
He's like, yeah, I deserve to get punched.
yeah.
That was warranted. Fair
And
enough.
then he said, is he the one that says, I heard that you broke up?
Uh, I think so.
And she just kind of, she doesn't directly say yes, but she shrugs in a way that it's like, yeah, dangerous topic. Um, and Ben says, well, if I knew that was going to happen, I would have hit him back. And Felicity just has like,
Laughs.
yeah, she just has
She
like a
laughs.
genuine laugh with that.
And I wrote cringe because you ruined his life. You
Yeah.
stole his girl and you outed his, former cocaine habit, and you would have punched him back and Felicity finds it funny. Like,
Mm-hmm.
screw you two. I mean, you deserve each other. Y'all suck
Oof.
right now.
Tough words from our cynic. Remember, guys, this is my love letter. This is in Fish. Sometimes might have takes like this. It's okay. It is okay. I understand what you're saying here. I have nothing against Greg. I feel like this probably would have landed better for every other person who listened to who watches the show who hates Greg.
But like poor Greg,
Or
right?
Greg, yeah. Like you and I, we've had a lot of sympathy. I guess if you're everybody else who hates Greg so much, then you would laugh too. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a but it's this much. She's kind of relaxing into the conversation, and when she does, he does too. So now it feels as though they've kind of I don't know if they've broken the ice in this conversation, but it's a little thawed. So that's a good start. Um, and we're gonna go back inside the club where Javier.
He's having a very, relaxed conversation with someone that he knows while drinking his bonsai demon.
Mhm,
And we flip over to her, and it is this gorgeous blonde named Bijou.
mhm,
And Bijou answers in a very deep male voice.
mhm.
And I don't know, like trans, drag queen, I don't know.
Yeah, we're not sure.
We don't know the personal pronouns of this person, or even if they would have had personal pronouns at that time. What I do know is I am gorgeous of that entire look,
Mhm.
and and it also was a little weird that like they knew each other. I mean, come on, there's such a
Yeah,
small like LGBTQ plus community in New York City that
I guess they've
they're gonna
crossed
find
paths
each
at
other
some
in
point.
this club.
Yeah, it's
I don't
interesting to
know.
think that Meghan and Javier have shared connections, but it actually, I can see how we get there. Um, but maybe Bijou's really been out and about and is like a known figure, and I don't know. But Meghan comes up and she's trying to find Felicity. So she's asking Javier where Felicity is, and she sees Bijou. And I just really liked the touch of Meghan being like, "Hi, Bijou," and Bijou knows Meghan, and I just it's another reminder like this is Meghan's world, you know.
Except that as soon as Megan walks away, Bijou's like, I don't know what's up with her. And Javier says, yeah, she scares me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a universal opinion, I guess, of Meghan. But we're breaking through that in this episode, I want to
We are.
say.
I agree.
So we get back to Felicity and Ben
Well,
close talking
so
outside the club.
Megan asks, where are Felicity? Like, where's Felicity? And so Javier says she's outside
Mhm.
talking to Ben. And this is where Megan gives off more big sister vibes. And it's like, I gotta go break that up.
Yeah, so we know that Megan's on the way here when we cut to outside and we see that Felicity and Fen. What did I do just now?
Finn?
I
Who's
said
Finn?
Fen.
Oh, Fen.
I,
Oh, like
that's
their
not a
ship name.
thing, guys. That's not a thing.
No,
If
Benicity is over. Now it's Fen.
we can't, I'm sorry, everybody. I apologize that I just put that out in the universe. Felicity and Ben are outside the club, but they're so close talking now. So the ice was thawed as we left them, and now it's like, oh my god. Um, but again, Felicity's drunk, Ben's not, but Ben
But
is gonna
then,
try to plow into like a serious conversation here.
yeah, I don't know what, I mean, so Ben turns around and he's like, all that stuff I said outside the loft, it's not true. It's not about the chase. It's not a pattern. But like what I underlined here is Ben in sort of trying to get back with Felicity is like, hey, remember when I hurt you? I was also lying to you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's this is a hard conversation. Like it's an awkward conversation. It's one of those conversations like you don't even really know how Felicity is going to absorb all of this with the
Mm,
mental state that she's in at the moment. Like it's just this really isn't the time for him to have this type of conversation. But it's also like, when else is he going to have the opportunity? Javier specifically orchestrated them having a moment so they could have a conversation like this. Felicity is listening to it. She's not just
Yeah.
like up and running away from the conversation. So Ben's, I don't know.
Look, sometimes it takes a couple drinks. None of them
Mm-hmm.
are blackout drunk.
Yeah.
She's had some drinks, she's been dancing. Yes, she's small and those drinks are large, but like she's coherent.
I get the
She's not
sense the
slurring
next
her
day that she
words.
remembers all
Oh
of the
yeah.
stuff that happened. So,
Yeah.
she's still in that space.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think she's just more open.
yeah, I get, I think the fact that she hasn't kicked him to the curb, told him to leave the club, and gone back inside is as much encouragement as he's, probably going to get at this moment. But it is more hope than he had a night ago.
Hmm.
And this will be interrupted by Meghan parading the rest of the girls past them and whisking Felicity away.
Which, look, this is not easy to do. To
Mm-hmm.
keep track of multiple people at a club like this, and then to like gather them all up to go to another location, like
Meghan
she
was
had to put in
committed.
effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, we're going to Earl's. Bye, Ben.
Yep.
I mean, you could just hear that the word Ben was not Ben. What she
Yeah.
really meant was bye, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ben's like, bye.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I so needed to have that conversation. But unfortunately, violating the no Ben, no Tracy, no Sean rule, Felicity will make a loose agreement with Ben to meet up later.
And what I put here is finally Ben's smile is back.
Yeah, this is okay. Let's see. There's certainly more hope there right there now than there was last night.
Hmm.
Um, and okay, there's something I can do here that maybe. So we're gonna cut to yet another convenience store shot.
Which, I mean, it's definitely a different convenience store
Okay. Okay.
than we've seen before. I think we've seen at least three different convenience stores.
Or the same exact convenience store, but they just like rotated
The
the
angle,
the tables and the
that could
display
be.
cases. Uh,
Um,
but we're
but
gonna
but I mean, I feel like this is what happens, right? At
Mhm.
some point you're at a club and then you're either at a convenience store or like a grocery store, like somewhere you got to get snacks before you head to someone's house. Like this is
Mhm.
just the way the night goes.
Yeah.
And we get to learn a little bit more about Meghan here. She's into sci-fi, just like Earl.
Or her folks are, like the Earl and Lulu are having a fight, which is actually just Earl having all of the dialogue. If you notice,
Yes.
Lulu doesn't have a single word. She just stands there and types
She's
it.
she's off screen.
Yeah. And Earl's like trying to get the last word in, and he's like, Lulu, science, miniaturization, robotics.
Well, he's talking about nanotechnology, which actually, I mean, this is definitely J.J. Abrams, right? Everything he's
Yeah.
talking about is still an issue for all of us. He's talking about like international consensus on like nanotechnology and all this stuff that actually is a very real scientific debate. And Meghan is just like, you tell her, go over
Go
there,
tell her, Earl.
girl.
Yeah.
And then leans in and is like, Megan's a real person because she leans in and is like, Earl and Lulu used to date. Yeah,
And all
she's
the
a
girls are
gossip.
like,
Yep,
oh, got it, got it.
yep.
Yep.
Just like everyone else.
Yeah, the fights come in different forms, but here we are. Yeah, so Elena and Julie are going to go to another aisle to go get the snacks that they want. which allows Felicity and Meghan to have a moment to themselves. And Felicity is going to thank Meghan for taking her away from Ben because, she forgot for a second what
Mhm.
this night was all about. Just,
That's right.
yeah. She's like,
About not
Meghan,
thinking about boys,
yeah,
and it's about buying giant canisters of cheese balls.
yeah. And Felicity was like, Meghan, you probably don't get it, but unless you felt that way about somebody, and Meghan's like, stop, stop right there. You just stop, okay? Because I have a Ben. Now,
Yeah.
Fish, walk me through what happens from here.
Uh, this whole scene just like ripped me to shreds. And I'm not a particularly like emotional person, especially when it comes to like TV and movies. I don't really cry, I don't really whatever. But I don't know. Mandy Foreman is a genius, and she she just I don't know. She got to me here. She does say I had, I have a Ben. It's Greg. You know that
bum,
guy you've been dating?
bum,
And like,
bum.
uh, so of course, having said his name, he will now enter the exact convenience store
This
that
is
they're all in.
convenient indeed, huh?
Mm,
Yes.
mm,
Okay, let's
mm.
put that away though for a moment. Let's just can we all agree, can just ignore the fact that this
Yes.
is so unlikely timing.
Yeah,
but I'm willing to put that away, Fish. Are you?
I am.
Okay, let's get
Uh,
into it.
yeah. And, you know, so Megan sees him and she's like, this is my shot. I'm going to go talk to him. And Felicity's like, we just broke up. And Megan's like, I know, he's vulnerable. And so Felicity hides behind the aisle so that Greg can't see her. And Megan walks off with all the confidence in the world and says to Greg, hey. And Greg's like, hey, Megan. She's like, we're married. Greg's like,
It's an
what?
opener.
What? She's like, yeah. Uh, remember in elementary school, we were standing in a sandbox and we got married. I was fat. I was very fat. And the Craig is slowly recognizing, he's like, oh, you're Megan.
You're Megan
The
from Ashburton Elementary. Oh.
Yes, you are my fat first wife from first grade. Um, and I love the lines here. Uh, Megan looks at him. I mean, she's gonna shoot her shot as she is. She makes no changes to her appearance, like nothing, right? And she just looks at him and says, "Want to find a sandbox?" And he just kind of laughs and he's like, "That's funny." And then she just like drops every wall that she has up. And there's this intense look of vulnerability on her face. And she says, no, really, do you want to find a sandbox? And like just the fact that she was willing to do that is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Greg's response isn't even, I was just in this relationship, da 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 da, it's not you, it's me. He's just like, oh, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But
He's a bit more
thanks.
stammering about it. He's like, oh, I just not I'm not interested.
Yeah. Like, not cutting that with anything. Just pure,
Yeah.
whew. And then Megan's like, had to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, makes I think, a very witty joke on her way back to to the hiding Felicity. I'll have my lawyer get in touch with you about that alimony.
Yeah.
And then she
Awkward.
gets, I
Yeah.
know, it's awkward, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's
And
rough.
then she gets back to Felicity and she just looks at her. And, you know, Meghan has put up all these walls with Felicity, and they're for us as the
Hmm.
audience.
Hmm.
And she just breaks them all down for that vulnerable moment. And then this next line, which is, now it's your turn to take me out. And like, I was getting a little choked up there. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so heartbreaking. And she goes from like, I don't know, this like impenetrable Meghan, like, and throughout this episode, it's like, wait, they're getting into her world. She's being like sisterly, and now she's like completely been vulnerable and is relying on Felicity.
Yeah.
And it's just heartbreaking. And
And admittedly, Felicity's probably not the person you ask for, like,
no.
what's the happen in place to be tonight? But Felicity is like, okay,
Oh,
I do know of one party. And she says
mhm.
it and she's like, ooh,
Yeah.
it's probably not your scene. But hey, I know of
This
one.
wasn't this wasn't Felicity's scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if Felicity getting herself into Meghan's world made her stop thinking about Ben, maybe getting Meghan into Felicity's world will make her stop thinking about Greg.
Yeah.
Of course, it isn't the best place to not think about Greg.
No, no. So Epstein Bar,
Yeah.
here we're going to go back to Epstein Bar for another, I guess, one of many Richard is president party nights.
Yeah, this seems to be like an ongoing thing
Yeah,
with
you get the feeling that he's really been like patting himself on the back here quite a bit for becoming the new president.
although he is
There's
co-president, let's
He's
remember.
co-president.
He's not going to
Yeah.
say it, but we get a great shot of Dick smoking a cigar as we
Wearing his
walk
free
in.
pizza Friday shirt. And there's
Yep.
like, is it mambo music playing in the background?
It's Latin music. I was
Yeah.
like, this is not Richard. Like, I don't know what the original music was, but it can't be this, right? It can't be.
I don't know. I think it makes just as much sense as anything else that could have been playing. But like, it seems all just so
I
he's
feel
not.
like it would have been like, I don't know, like white boy party music, like Blink 182. And I don't know. Like, I just feel like Latin music is not Richard.
It's not, but I feel like all his dance moves line up pretty well with the style. So it's
It's
like,
true. He does a little like,
it feels like
yeah.
he's just this guy who picked mambo music of some sort. With the cigar and the free pizza. It's a bit of a hodgepodge of ideas, and that
Yeah,
feels right for the kind of party that Richard might throw. It's
all
got,
right.
the
That's
ladies are
fair.
all dancing. They're out on the floor. They're at party number 2.
Yep.
And Meghan and Felicity decide to take a beat. So they sit in a booth. And Richard comes up and he's trying to engage them. He's trying to get them to dirty dance with the new president.
Hmm.
And
Don't be fooled by the aura of power. It's still him,
yeah, still
Richard.
need Richard. Yep. They're like, and they're just basically laughing at him and then they just decline.
Yeah. Felicity's like, yeah, we're good.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. So, you know, we get from this point forward in the episode, we get so many cool like speeches and well, really, including the one that you just covered with Meghan talking to Greg. Um, but Felicity and Meghan have this moment where Meghan's having this realization. She's like, you know what? We don't need men. We can have a kick-ass time without guys. And Felicity just keeps chiming in with like, yeah. And Felicity's like, and she's had a few more drinks. So
Yes.
she's a
Yes.
little further progressed than she was the last time she was talking. She's like, we've accomplished a lot this year. we're RAs, for example. And Megan's like, yeah, damn good
Damn
ones.
good on, yeah, damn
Uh-huh.
good RAs. I mean, clearly, I don't know what happened. I mean, they've ditched. No, Earl
Yes.
came with them. No, Earl came with them. He is there at the party. We do see him dancing. So they decided not to go to Earl's place,
Hmm.
and they've instead brought Earl to Richard's party,
Yeah.
which I find amazing.
Yeah.
Because Earl's also just dancing, like, whatever.
Hmm. And remember, when they're reflecting on how good of RAs they are, they've still abandoned their entire resident
Yes,
population who
yes.
maybe they're still, I don't know, maybe they're still on the floor of the
I'm assuming.
cafeteria, or maybe they've just gotten back into the dorm, but whatever.
Well, if they'd
Um,
just gotten back into the dorm, Felicity and Meghan could have gone back to their dorm.
and you know what? They don't care about any of
No,
it.
not even a little.
But so to point that out, Megan's like, yeah,
Uh,
damn good ones. And then Felicity's like, and also, hello, I ran for student council. He
and
goes,
lost.
yeah. It's like, true, true. But the point is, win or lose, we survive. And then we get to the where the title comes in this episode. Megan's like, yeah, we're sisters doing it for ourselves like Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, this is the most perfect title of an episode that comes from a drunken discussion. Like,
It's
if you have a drunken discussion and then name your night
mm-hmm.
based on something, this is exactly what would happen. So it's very meta, very on point. I love it. Does
And
it
this,
make any sense with actual
yes,
Aretha Franklin? No. Um, no. But it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. This really tracked for me having the experience of watching two drunk people in this episode as this person who was sober. This is exactly like every college party I ever went to where I was the only sober person, and I'd be listening to people having, like, I was always trying to figure out at what point do I leave before this gets really messy, and I would like listen to conversations, and it was always stuff like this
Yeah.
where somebody would be like, elephants, yeah. Like, and then like somebody else would have like a real moment of understanding about the elephants, and they laugh between themselves, and it's just like that actually does make a lick of sense. And it's like I could always gauge where people were by like
Yeah.
conversations like that, and this just made a lot of sense for me.
Yeah, look, we've all been there in one way or another. Either sober looking in or drunk not looking out because we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've had so many conversations like this, some of which I remember, some of which I don't, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure. Um, they're fun. They do nothing for you later, but hey, it's fun.
That's what it is. Well, we're going to head from this festive atmosphere to a very quiet scene between Ruby and Noel. They're at the loft. They're
Very upsetting scene.
yeah, they're upstairs in the loft. They're in the loft part of the loft. And gosh. Noel is it's awkward like Ruby's sleeping up here, but it's not where Noel was meant to be sleeping. And, Noel's kind of like bringing up Wade, and Ruby doesn't really want to talk about Wade. So Noel's like, well, what do you want to talk about? And they kiss.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with any of that. I have a problem with the fact that there is a bike in the loft. Like, of all the places to
Mm-hmm.
put a bicycle upstairs, like a revolving, staircase that you have to come down. Plus, this is Sean's room. So this is Sean's bike. Have we ever seen Sean ride a bike? Is there a
No.
bike helmet? No. Of
But
course
are
there's not
we
a bike helmet.
100% sure this isn't Felicity's bike that she's brought with her to the loft?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we
Oh
are.
boy.
No, do not put your bike up all those like floating stairs.
The
You,
circular stair,
it
the
is,
winding staircase.
oh my God, why?
Hmm.
Why? Why? I was
Okay.
so upset. I was
Wow.
so upset.
Wow.
I didn't even care that there was a giant conch shell just sitting on the like bookcase. Fine. But the bike,
Okay. I
not
hear you.
having it.
I hear you.
Not having it.
Fish is putting her foot down. All right. Okay. Well, we're going to move from that
Someone's
to
gonna break their neck bringing it down the stairs.
very
I'm just
likely.
saying. We're gonna
Yeah.
lose a cast member that way, and if we don't, it's not reality.
Okay. I see. All right. Well, that's spoiler for you, but that's fine. So maybe Don Mulcahy comes back. He breaks his neck on some other mode of transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
So, okay, we're gonna now go. Are we outside of Dean and DeLuca on a stoop?
I mean, we're definitely on a stoop somewhere. I don't know if it's outside
We're
Dean
not sure where
DeLuca.
it is. It's Javier and Ben sitting on this stoop in some undisclosed location within the city. Um,
Yes. I think it's the place that we've now decided is Nolena's apartment, but remember we said they're just places we can't always pinpoint.
there are a lot of stoop talking scenes in this
Yeah.
show, so I guess this is one of them. Maybe it's
I
always the same
love
stoop. Hard to say.
I love this scene.
Yeah. Javier's practicing his proposal for Samuel on Ben. He's doing like a run through.
Mhm. It's very
And
sweet.
yeah, he gets like midway through. And just as he's like, "Will you marry me?" a dog walker walks past.
Yep.
I
A lady
wonder,
walking her dog.
it feels like, yeah, that must have been built into the script. Um, and so they just kind of pause. And then Ben agrees. And he says something really sweet to Javier here. Like Javier's like, do you really think Samuel will say yes? And Ben's like, well, if he's smart, he will.
And Javier melts. He melts into a puddle, and then the puddle reaches up and hugs Ben, who is still uncomfortable with a gay man's touch, but we're gonna just slide right past that. Um, yeah, it's a cute moment.
Javier's just like, that's the sweetest thing you've ever said to me. And it wasn't even Ben trying to be sweet. It was just like so like he just delivered it and
Yeah, that's how he felt.
Javier melted. Um, and then, but Ben has some stuff on his mind here, and he's like trying to figure out Javier and Samuel's relationship. And he's, I mean, you and Samuel, you're happy, right? And Javier's like, yeah, but not always.
Hmm.
I think this is like a teachable moment where it's like, okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about my experience. Maybe it'll inspire you a little bit for Felicity. But Javier tells a story about how he cheated on Samuel once. He's like, we had our dynasty moments. I played Alexis. Ben's laughing about this, and he tells a story of, I did cheat on Samuel once with this guy named Otis. He was he was the water delivery boy.
He's a water delivery guy. Yeah, fuck
Um,
you, Otis. Not cool. Not cool.
um, Ben's like, okay, so what happened?
Well, Ben at this point is like, all right, so there was mistrust. Like, I mean, at this point, it's very clear that he's trying to figure out what he can do to get through to Felicity.
Mm-hmm.
And he's seeing like Javier and Samuel's relationship as being, pretty solid and what he
Most
wants.
solid relationship he knows,
Yeah.
which is
saying a lot.
saying something, like, oh, goodness, who can he look to for an example of like a healthy, happy relationship?
No, not his
And so
parents.
not his parents, not Felicity's parents, like it's just like, who does, Julie's
Not
got some
Julie's
baggage there,
parents.
like it's just,
Elena's parents aren't so, yeah.
see, like, I mean, there's just nobody here. So he's got, there's some information to be had in this conversation for Ben. And he's like trying to figure out, well, you're right. Like, how is he going to get through to Felicity? And Javier saying, you know what, I'm not going to tell you that part of the story because, you have to figure out, every man has to figure out his own way. You have to find your way to show your true love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a customized experience. uh, but I guess he sort of gets the wheels turning here a little bit.
Yep. It's
Um,
a good moment in general. I mean, not all of it, but it's yeah, it's men helping men, and it's really great.
and this is an important resource for Ben too, right? I mean, Sean has been helpful to Ben recently.
Cassie,
I
uh,
mean, recently I feel like Sean's been trying, but I think Javier is able to present a very different angle on this for Ben.
well, and also Javier isn't shooting a documentary while trying to
Mm-hmm.
get like the ending right, so his motives aren't completely in question.
Yeah, yeah. And Javier is certainly an advocate for this relationship, but and he's dropping a lot of really important information to push it forward in his own way, the same way that Sean has been doing. But it's like, I think his main thing with Ben here is like, how do I just restore some amount of hope? That's really the only thing he can do in this episode, because Ben had lost hope completely. So it's like,
Well, I
well,
think he's had his hope a little bit restored by that conversation and the fact that she's going to meet up with him later. And so
yeah.
now he's like, well, crap, she's going to meet up with me later. I've already said a bunch of stuff and she got real mad. So now what do I do?
I mean, this is really Ben digging as deep as he can. Like he's working very hard to figure out, how do I do this? I like, the opportunity is there, but what am I going to do with it? And I see him taking it very seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, though, we are going to head back to Richard's party where all the ladies are now in the booth. So Elena and Julie have joined Felicity and Meghan.
This
And
is
this is,
this is not cool of Julie, Megan, and Elena. This is really not
yeah.
cool.
Well, this is also very much like they've been drinking. So,
That's the point. Like, look, girl code, friends don't let friends drunk dial. It's much easier with cell phones. So I figure if she had to get up and go to a booth,
mm-hmm.
much easier to stop. Like,
Yeah.
this is this is not okay. Like if she was going to the bathroom, one of you should have gone anyway.
Mm-hmm.
She says she's going to take care of this. No, no, no. You don't let your friend go do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is when you take their cell phone away, slash
Okay.
stand bodily in front of the phone booth or take all their change.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I like
what
that.
is wrong with your
I
friends?
like that Fish is giving us the like real life PSA here. I
Not
love
okay.
Julie in this scene though. I love everything about Julie in the scene. So Julie says to Felicity, wait, 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 aren't you supposed to meet up with Ben? And then Megan's like, no, you're not. No, Ben. And Elena's like, no, Ben. And then Julie's like, no. Like reversing course completely from where she just was when she opened up a dead conversation. And then Felicity's like, I don't need Ben. And she has this whole realization. Meanwhile, reason number two, I love Julie in this scene. They have snacks on the table, and all of them are like reaching for the snacks, but Julie's actually
She
eating
ate
them.
them. Yeah,
She's just
I saw that.
downing pretzels. God bless Amy Jo Johnson. Like every time there's an eating scene, she seems to be actually eating. Like
Yeah,
oranges, pretzels, whatever they give
pizza.
her, cereal. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it so much.
Well, and now I notice it, and I'm like, Elena doesn't really eat stuff either.
No, she doesn't. She like kind of has her hand hovering around the bowl of snacks. And
Yeah.
then at the end, she reaches into the bowl, but she never actually takes a bite. Um, I know, guys, this is not the biggest thing that happens in this episode. Okay, I get it, but let's just hear it for Amy Jo Johnson, can we?
Cough, clap.
Yep. So Felicity comes away from this, this round of no's that she gets. They're like, this is a no Ben night. So Felicity has a moment of realization. I don't need Ben. I don't need Ben. I've got to go. And Julie gets up and lets her out.
And
Felicity,
it's so not cool. Your
no,
friend should be protecting you.
I know this is a really, really hard message. Felicity has to sort of bounce through all the people who are still dancing in the party.
Including Earl.
Yep. She finds her way to a phone booth inside the building.
Inside Epstein Bar, which, I could see that.
Yeah. And she leaves. Well, first of all, she's going to call Ben or Sean, Ben and Julia's place. She's going to get the outgoing Blumberg Productions message.
Blumberg Productions.
Yeah. If you'd like to reach Sean, press 1. For his assistant Ben, press 2. And he has a number for Julie, and then at the end he's like, creditors, press 4.
Press 4.
She presses her button for Ben, and she gets Ben's outgoing message, and then she leaves hers. I wrote this down word for word.
Read it.
Because this is painful.
It's rough.
I just wanted to call because I'm not going to meet up with you tonight. The thing is, I don't need you. We cannot hang out tonight or ever. We can't be together because I don't trust you. We'll never be able to change that, to go back and change all that stuff that's happened. I'm not going to let you screw up my life again. I think that you and I need to not see each other at all, even as friends, until we're way past all this stuff. I wrote to myself, sobering up. Even though we're living in the same place right now, so I'm going to move out tomorrow. I wrote to myself, sobering up again. Yeah, that's basically why I'm calling you, because you and I, we can never really be. She hangs up. She kind of falls back against the phone booth, and she's fully sober now. It's
No,
like,
she is not fully
oh,
sober at all. She
she's
has
realized.
said all this stuff, and then she physically like falls to the floor. Like she
Yeah.
crumples in this booth. But I absolutely don't think she's sober at all.
No, she's not sober, but I think the word I want here is like, she realizes about halfway through this message that she shouldn't be leaving this message. And she
I don't
just
think
keeps
so.
talking.
I don't think so. I think
Interesting.
she is leaving this message. She's realizing the gravity of it.
Ah,
And, that's kind of what makes her fall to the floor, is like she's breaking her own heart. Because I don't think she realizes it until her revelation the next morning with Meghan in the bathroom.
interesting. I'd be curious to hear from listeners what you think you were seeing with that message she was leaving. Because Fish, it sounds like you're feeling like she felt like she was doing the right thing, but she realized the gravity of it. I
Yeah.
felt like about halfway in, she realized she probably shouldn't be leaving this message, but she was like, unable to stop the words from coming out of her mouth, and it got worse and worse. Um, I
Because
don't know. I wonder.
she hasn't had the revelation she needs to yet
Hmm.
in order for her to realize she can be with Ben.
Okay. Okay. Gosh, it's just, man. I mean, the way she's leaving this message, she's talking very searchingly. But if you just read it with a flat delivery, as I know I just did, it's rough. It would be a really hard message for Ben to hear.
I
It's
mean,
just like there is
yeah,
no hope anywhere ever in the words she chooses there. It's like so final.
but she's also clearly drunk. And
Yeah.
like you have to take anything left when someone's that drunk with a grain of salt.
Well, I don't know, right? I mean, there's the do you take it with a grain of salt, or is this what she's really thinking and she's just willing to say it now? I mean,
But that's the thing, you don't know.
yeah.
Because people say some stupid stuff when they're drunk.
They sometimes have conversations about elephants that seem real serious. So,
Sometimes.
yeah.
Well, Aretha Franklin.
Yeah. So
Sometimes
I
they think they're damn good RAs while abandoning their entire floor
it's
of
true.
freshmen.
Yeah, it's true. So that happens, and we're gonna cut to the next day.
And this is where I think her realization comes in.
Okay.
So
So
we're back, yeah, we're back in the tiniest bathroom in the world, in the loft, that needs to be renovated.
yeah.
And Meghan and Felicity are bonding over the fact that they have a hangover, but it was still a good night out.
Hmm. Yeah, and Felicity is brushing her teeth, and she's just like sort of dropping little one-word moments about the night. She's like, Aretha. Like
Yep.
she's just kind of remembering the good stuff. Like they're agreeing it was fun. Meghan sort of stops the presses though. She says, "You know what I was thinking though? When we don't need men is exactly when we should get together with them. You know what I mean?" And this is the total turning
Felicity,
point here.
yeah, Felicity is trying to brush her teeth and has toothpaste all over her face. And with the toothbrush sticking out of her mouth, she's like, yeah. And she takes the toothbrush out. She's like, yeah, I think I do know what you mean. Um, and I love Meghan in this scene. They're giving her something completely different. She's in this very thin, like pink, uh, I don't know, night dress. Um, she's taken all of her makeup off.
Mm-hmm.
She has all these freckles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's completely stripped down.
Mm-hmm.
And she turns around to Felicity and is just like, you have toothpaste all over your face.
But
She's
meanwhile,
exactly the same person. I love that she's the same person, like in her armor and out.
yeah, but and that is hits even harder because in the middle of all that, Felicity is having this whole speech about what she just realized from the thing Meghan just said. She's like,
Yeah.
ah, you're right. It's me I couldn't trust. It wasn't about Ben, it was about me. I thought I couldn't handle Ben, but I can. I got over him at the beginning of this year, so I know I can do it. It's proof I'm ready for this. That's what you're saying. And Megan's just like, really though, toothpaste.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, all those people like Ben and Javier who kept saying Felicity scared or
Mm-hmm.
directly to Felicity, you're scared and
Mm-hmm.
that's what's holding you back. Here, Felicity is having her toothpaste breakout moment of, hey, I'm scared. Realization, you know? But guess what? I survived like Aretha Franklin
Mm-hmm.
when Ben broke my heart earlier, and I can survive him again because, I am able to be on my own. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to kill me, and it's worth it, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like she doesn't need Ben to survive, which is why she's ready to be with him,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what she says.
Great news. Except,
Yeah,
uh-oh.
yeah. So she's like, oh, hold up. I gave the opposite message last night.
Yeah.
That last night I thought something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I now realize that that is not true. And I am going to like run at breakneck speed.
She like vaults across the couch.
Yeah, I'm going to just like jump over Elena and desperately, you know,
Try to delete the
delete this
message.
message.
Yeah, Elaine is confused about all this. She's extremely hungover. She's
Yeah.
wearing the eye patches that we talked about before. And Sean sees this whole thing go down. And
He's eating some cereal at the
yeah,
table.
he sure is. And
It's
he
his loft.
sure is. And Sean's like, hey, yeah, Ben already heard that message.
Last night before you guys got home. And he took off, and I haven't seen him since. Right.
All of us have that
I know.
reaction, including Felicity, to be honest.
Which is why you don't let your friends drunk dial.
Yeah. So the phone rings. Sean picks it up. Turns out it's going to be Wade, and he's looking for Ruby. So Sean goes up the loft stairs to bring the phone to Ruby. And when he arrives at the top, he sees Noel and Ruby
And a
in,
bicycle.
and so Noel and Ruby are in bed. There's a bicycle. And
Mhm.
did you see the fish pillowcases?
Yes. I was like, oh,
That's
and
right,
it's not just
guys.
the pillowcases, it was all the sheets.
That's right, guys.
Yep.
Fish bed set,
I was in the bed with Noel and Ruby
whatever that means.
staring at the bike all night long.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I could not believe that's the bedding. So Sean is taken a bit off guard by the fact that they're in bed, but they're both clothed and they look like they've been, I don't know, just having a lazy morning. And he gives the phone to Ruby, who goes, down the stairs to get some privacy. And Sean asks Noel if they had sex. Noel says they didn't.
And I don't know if I believe him. I wasn't watching because, again, the bike. Um, but I don't know if I believe them. I also feel that Sean is very justified in asking whether these two people just had sex in his bed
Mm-hmm.
because not cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Sean and really right now in the loft, it's just Sean going to everybody checking in on them
Yeah.
in some way. His next stop is going to be seeing Julie. And he's looking for a little clarification here. Cause he's like, okay, when I told you the thing that I, said the really important thing, she's like, yeah, what you told me.
And I
Um,
kissed you.
mhm. And
Just
then you
laid one
said,
on you.
thank you. What was that
Yeah.
exactly?
Was that like a yes, like a thank you yes, or what?
Yeah, and she's like, well, it was a maybe.
And he gets super excited.
He's
He's
so
like,
excited.
maybe. I mean, I thought it was like an absolute no, shut this down. Like, I'm moving out of the loft and we will never speak again. So maybe
Yeah.
this is fantastic.
Yeah, he's on a real high as we leave the loft here.
Giant smile.
He's very,
Giant smile.
very optimistic about
He's
this.
so cute in this.
Yeah.
And she's so cute. And I don't know. I don't hate them together. I really don't.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to move from here to, we're going to get to Noel and Elena's apartment. We're here with Tracy and Elena. We're actually going to see the inside of this apartment finally, looking
Again,
better.
no,
Hmm.
yes. I mean, so this is the scene that I thought was going to happen earlier.
Mm. Yeah.
Tracy does not have stuff all over him,
Hmm.
and he's still, messing around with Elena, saying, don't get too mad. Okay, look, I did my best. Just, I mean, he knows. He
Hmm.
knows he did good. And
Yeah.
he's like, just try not to be mad at me.
He's managing expectations and he lets her in, and it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
She's
Absolutely gorgeous.
she's stunned. She's like, this looks amazing. Now I'm sad I have to move out soon.
In a month. She's got to move out in a month.
Yeah.
Like, girl, renew your lease.
Yeah. Well, then we get a little on the nose here. He's just
Well,
like,
they turn to each other, and Elena is wearing this like shiny green choker and a
mhm,
pink outfit that just reminds me of Dion from Clueless
mhm.
so much.
Okay.
And so this whole like affectionate moment that they're having, I don't know, there was just extra
Mhm.
uh, because of that. I don't know. It reminded me of how much like Dion was in love with him.
Okay. All right. Well, the conversation they're going to have to put a button on this scene is like, Tracy says, I know this was taking longer than you wanted it to. And she's like, oh, is that why you didn't go out with us last night? No, Elena, he didn't go out with you because it was girls' night. Okay. But
That didn't
anyway,
stop Earl or Ben
that's
or
true.
Javier,
That's very true.
but
So
he
it
does
was,
say yes.
yeah,
Yes, this is why I couldn't go out with you. There are just some things you shouldn't rush.
some things take time. And
Hmm.
she was like, yeah, and they're worth waiting for.
It's
And
good to
he's
have
like,
patience.
mm-hmm. And just like the conversation between Ruby and Noel earlier about the movie, it's like, what are you talking about right now?
They know what they're talking
They
about
know what they're talking about. Yeah.
because, they lean in and she says, "Thank you for doing this." Gives him a little kiss and he says, "Thank you for waiting."
Hmm.
And we know exactly what she's waiting for.
Yes.
The sweet, sweet Tracy Levin.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
Okay, fish. We are going to get to the
Yep.
sequence.
Hmm.
I don't know, if I had a counter on me for how many times I've watched this sequence, I don't know, 1,000, 4,000, 100,000. I don't know. At a certain point, you lose track. Okay. Even with a counter, the counter's like, stop it. I can't take it
I
anymore.
I have seen it 3 times.
Okay.
Twice this week. One
Oh my God.
before Amanda, before our interview with Amanda Foreman, and actually twice before our interview with her because I wanted to like refresh myself right before the interview.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So three.
Okay. All right. So that's all right. That's fine. We are going to
Mm.
see what we pulled out of this. The first thing that has to happen is, Felicity, I guess Felicity is on shift and she's shows up at Dean and DeLuca. She sees Javier and she's like, is Ben here? Javier says, no, Ben canceled his shift. And Felicity's like, oh no. I think I messed up last night, Javier. I mean, if you're a Felicity in this moment, you're thinking, he never wants to work with me again.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
and
it.
she told him she
Mhm.
never wanted, like, she didn't want to see him again until everything had died down.
Yeah. And so this
So
appears to be him following her instructions, which is not good news because she's got new instructions.
she's had a realization.
Yeah. And then Javier's like, can we talk about me for just a sec? Because I'm engaged now.
Yay! And so Felicity
um,
has to pretend that she's not heartbroken and
yeah.
like say happy things.
Yeah, she's like, congratulations, I'm so miserable. But anyway, so there's that. And then Javier just says, save the date and walks away. And by the way, just so you know,
Does not give
Fish,
her a date at all.
the thing
There's
is
no
though,
date.
Fish, and this is like very, very unlikely, but there is going to be a literal wedding in the finale episode of this season. 2 episodes from now.
Damn. I
It's
mean,
not a
that's pretty quick.
it's really, really quick. When he says save the date, it's like 2 weeks from now, Tuesday. Like, it's it's gonna be a very quick turnaround on this.
And this is where we meet the new Samuel because I still have only met the old Samuel, the
Okay,
one
yeah.
episode version of Samuel that you said we'll never see again.
I think we're gonna see the new Samuel next episode. But we'll have to double check that. I mean, we're gonna have to meet him before at the point when they get married, right? Like it's so fast. This is not how it happens. Like weddings, and because it's not even like they have like a wedding. It's like they have a whole reception. Like
This
there's a
isn't going down to
venue.
the courthouse and
It's
like
yeah. There are things that you can do that you could do in this time frame. That's not the things they did. This is very TV, but that's okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. Javier's engaged.
yay.
That's cool. Javier walks away to go do Dean and DeLuca things. And as he's doing that, so we see Felicity taking off her jacket, but you can see Ben outside of Dean and DeLuca walking past the window. So the hope is that the audience catches that and goes, like I did. It's Ben. So she's taking off her jacket, and I don't know, she's dejected, she's realizing what she just did, and he interrupts this moment with his hey. She's like, just turns around and sort of gasps out a hey. Fish, I also wrote down this whole speech.
Yeah, I say we go with everything you feel about it and then we can maybe talk about a few things that
Okay,
I
well,
thought.
I'll read it if that makes sense, and then we can put our commentary at the end of it. So he says, I walked around almost all night trying to figure out how to show you that you can trust me, that I've changed, instead of telling you, because I just think I've used up all the words of God. I tried to think, what was the one moment, the sort of turning point when I blew it, where I could have done the right thing, but didn't. And it was the night we were supposed to go see that movie, remember? And he starts a sentence and then she says, The Gold Rush, Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, I remember. She's whispering it. And Ben says, and I didn't show up. Felicity says, yeah, I remember that too. And she's whispering it so low, she's barely even speaking. And Ben says, you know where I was that night? I was on the Staten Island ferry by myself, just going back and forth, just running away, which is something I've done all my life. Run. I'm sick of running. I'm sick of skating by. After I got your message last night, I realized that was the moment. Bryant Park, the moment I'd take over if I could. Felicity smiles a bit. And Ben says, so this morning, I called around and I finally found it. This place in Jersey had it. And he puts this paper bag on the table. Felicity opens it and she sees a film canister inside it. And he says, you know what that is? And she says, yeah, it's a film canister. And Ben smiles. And she's crying at that point. And Ben smiles and says, no, it's a time machine. Let's just talk about that before we get into the next scene. I mean, it's a big speech. It's a real milestone, pretty monumental speech. And frankly, we don't get a lot of monumental milestone speeches from Ben. He's not a long speech kind of guy normally. So when he has these moments, It really means something. And it's one of those things where, Fish, I was saying to you when we watched the pilot, because they kind of made it seem like Ben was a big speech guy. And you don't really get that through the whole series, especially not to this point. So the moments like this really, it's like the fight that he had trying to get her back at Epstein Bar when she was on that last date with Greg, and then this, it's like he's pulling out all the stops. And so for me, oh goodness, I'm gonna put my note from an optimist in here. I think this idea of, if you've ever had the experience of like there's a song that you have attached a bad memory to because the song was on the radio at the exact time when the thing was happening, or there's like a fight that you had with somebody you cared about a specific thing, and every time you see the thing all you can remember is the fight. And I think it's like these objects have this residue that we take with us. And I think that the biggest gift Ben could give here was literally, I don't know if it's replacing a bad memory with a good one, but letting that memory have more than one context. And like, I guess it's a redo, but it's also like, if you could take that song that triggers a bad memory for you and then find a way to put something really happy with it so that that's also now something you think of. I think it's such a gift to be able to let somebody reframe. And, for example, like for Felicity, what is, can she hear the words the gold rush, or can she pass by Bryant Park without thinking about this? And I think Ben has just recontextualized the whole thing for her to turn it into this really romantic moment out of this really disappointing one. Um, and I love that. And I don't know if that's ever specifically happened for me with any of the things that trigger me. And I think it's really special that that's happening here. And, the effort that he went to go find this film canister. And I assume he had to also find the equipment to play it on. Um, it is a real gesture. It's a level that he hasn't quite gone to yet. And it lands. It is, in fact, the moment. I mean, I remember watching that scene when she was at Bryant Park, watching all of these other couples and all these other people enjoying each other and eating their food. And she just reaches into her bag by herself and just grabs like I don't know, a sandwich or whatever it was she was eating or not eating. And she looked so alone. And now it's like, I want to take that moment and I want to fix it, or try, or at least layer it on top of the one I gave you before. And I think it's really lovely. That's what I
Yeah,
think
and
about
I
it.
remember that moment. You had said we'll find out later, like what Ben was doing. He wasn't, because he'd given her some excuse.
He
And I
gave her
don't
like
remember.
I totally forgot I was helping Sean and the guys or whatever.
Ah, okay.
It was a lie when he explained himself away in the next episode from when she had been stood up. Um, that it turns out he was thinking about her all night.
Yeah. So when I listened to this, I kind of listened to it a line at a time and
Mm-hmm.
sort of stopped and was thinking about it. I do have some like nitpicky things and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first of all, he says, I want to show you that I've changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can trust me because I don't have any more words. And then
Mm-hmm.
proceeds to give an entire speech full of words. And it's like, okay, sure. I think I don't know. And then he's got, what is this one moment, the turning point where he blew it, and I paused it there before he said what it was. And I
Mhm.
was like, going to Mexico, not responding when she called you a coward and broke up with you. That speech about how everything like had too much meaning and he couldn't handle it. I just started listing all the ways he blew it.
Mhm.
And then he's like, Bryant Park. And I was like, what about Mexico?
Mhm.
So it was a
Well,
little
Mexico,
bit,
they were still together after Mexico. They
yeah,
got,
but still, like they were in this, like, I took off after our road trip, was gone all summer, and then we came back to this like weird relationship that hadn't moved forward and that I still wanted to be like really, I mean, he was running away to Mexico.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't just one night. It was the entire summer he ran away.
Yeah. I think though, I don't think of that as a turning point. I think of that as he was away from the summer, they got back to school and they were just now solidifying that they were going to get together. I think of two turning points. I think Bryant Park, but I because they made such a point of showing the planning for that day, the fact that Ben wasn't there, showing that she was stood up and how she felt about it, and then him finding an excuse when he saw her the next time. But I also think a turning point was him listening to her tape and the ensuing argument that came from that.
I don't think that, look, not listening to her tape, I don't think would have changed anything
Mm.
because as her feelings became apparent on tape or not, he was still freaking out. So that's why I see more of a turning point in not having a response when she calls him a coward.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just like, I don't know what to say to you. Like, you're right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I am scared of this and I'm running away.
Yeah.
And all the times he said to her, like over and over again, like, you're like, why does everything have to have so much meaning? And like, what, can't we keep this casual? And like, all those times he was like trying to make it not a real relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but Bryant Park, yes, sure. Also a screw up. Um, and and I do think it's interesting that, he was on a ferry thinking about things, and before this speech, he was wandering around all night, thinking about things. Um, and I guess for me, there's a couple of things that it doesn't strike me as, I guess, the most romantic speech because I'm just, I'm more practical. And it doesn't mean that I don't believe in romance or that I don't find things romantic. But like, if you hand me a film canister and say it's a time machine, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's, I don't know what to tell you, but like, it's just not. Like, all those things still happened. And like, there are no do-overs. So to me, this is much more of a timing issue. It's like she already realized she wants to be with him. This whole speech isn't necessary
He doesn't know that
because
though.
he doesn't know it. But I'm just saying, like, no matter what he said in this speech, she's ready to date him now. It had to be her. He
Yeah.
already said the really important stuff in the last speech he gave her,
Mm-hmm.
right? He
Yeah.
was like, you're afraid. And then she had to realize she was afraid. And it was like, I love you. Like, I want to be with you. All this stuff. Like, it was on her. And now she's realized it. And so this speech doesn't really have the like oomph that something that actually would have made an impact, I think, did.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the romantic part isn't a speech. It isn't his previous speech. It isn't this speech. It's the journey that he's been on
Mm-hmm.
over months,
Yeah.
to change himself for the better, not necessarily for her, because I still don't like that, but to change himself for the better, to be a better man, to know her and say, you want, like, you make people want to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And to be speaking about himself like that, all of the effort, all of the time that he has put in for that, that is showing.
And
That
I
is
think
changing.
that's the challenge for Ben in this situation, because when it's like, I was trying to think how else I can show you because I don't have the words anymore. It's like, well, the problem is that he has been showing her
Yeah.
for months and she was choosing not to see it, or she was choosing not to register it. So, in fact, he's been giving her object lessons, like examples of him showing up for her
And
a
she still hasn't
lot of
realized it.
times. And so I think he had to he had to resort to speech mode for her to start paying attention, but also I think we really needed some of these other characters being like, Felicity, can you just register this? Like, I don't know if without some of those nudges, she would have broken through, because Ben has given her a lot of evidence. And then before he delivers these speeches, he's got people telling her, he's got Javier saying things to her. He's got Greg himself was like, I think this is the thing you two have. I think that she really did kind of need some of these nudges for people to say, just for a moment, can you put the wall down, like, or take like a layer of brick off so that we can see above it and see what's on the other side. And it's Ben. So I think you're right, like, she needed to be ready to absorb it, but
The
he's
big
still trying to figure
revelation.
out what options he has to get through to her.
Yeah, and the big revelation that she had is, I am scared. I'm scared of what this relationship is, but even if he breaks my heart again, I'm not going to die. Like, I will get through it. So
Mm-hmm.
I am capable of being with him. What she doesn't say in that speech is he has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, like, nowhere in here is there anything about her realizing all of the work that he has put in for her. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that, like, as they get together and she is with him, because her decision to say, I can survive, it is also a decision saying, this relationship is worth surviving heartbreak for. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, it goes back to that, like, magnetic feeling that they're just coming together. She thinks it's worth it. Maybe she hasn't fully vocalized why. Maybe she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know why. Maybe the change is part of that, but we don't hear her give him credit for any of that
We don't. And I
yet.
think that's part of the reason why the speech is helpful, because as he's talking through this, looking at the way it's landing on her and the parts where it really makes her well up, I think she's feeling the impact of this gesture. I think that, at the point when he's saying, like the gold rush, Charlie Chaplin, she's like, I remember, like, and it like pains her to remember it. And so I didn't show up. Yeah, I remember that too. And just the whisperiness, the like, oh, you are tapping directly into a painful memory right now. And I'm sitting here with that. And then for him to go in and say, here's what that night was for me. I I want to do something that makes that pain less painful for you. And so, like, I put all this work in to find this movie. And, at the point when he says, what this is, she has just like this single tear running down her face. Yeah, it's a film canister. And just like, this is really landed. And it wasn't, And it wasn't landing from the moment he showed up and started the speech where he's like, I'm trying here, like it's just like the tapping directly into an incredibly painful memory. And the like, can I put a band-aid on it now? And like a little Neosporin. Like I think for me, that's really something so sweet. I can't think of a time that somebody ever did that for me with a triggering memory. And it's usually like the people that this maybe the trigger of the memory is gone from your life by the time like it's usually there's not an opportunity to do something like this. And it was really beautiful to see something like that where it's like that thing that makes you sad to think about it, maybe you've squashed it down. He's like, I want you to feel good about Bryant Park. I want you to feel good about like the gold rush somehow, and maybe like we can put new context to that memory and associate it with a better time in our relationship. I don't know.
I
I
do think
just
it probably did that for her. I think you might be giving Ben a little too much credit for having all of that like motivation behind it.
no,
For
I think this
me,
is the amount of credit I need to give him. I mean, he's obviously been putting a lot of thought into this, and he's been consulting with Javier. And then Javier was like, not helping you there, man. You've got to think of this on your own. And he spends all night walking around. And
yeah, but I don't hear anything in this that says like I'm trying to make this less painful.
mhm.
Um, he says time machine, which to me means like it's a do-over. It's a like I would take this back, like let's try again from that point in time.
Mhm.
Like I screwed up, I'm acknowledging that. I think you're right. It probably does do all those things for Felicity. I
Mhm.
just don't know that Ben knew all that.
Yeah, I think that he does. I think that's why that was the moment he chose. And I think and it wasn't like Javier said, go find a moment and fix it. Like Ben came up with this whole structure, right? It's like, okay, what have I tried? Well, I've tried literally changing. I've tried showing up for her. I've tried asking her about her dad and being there for her when she was having hard times and listening to her, and tried being her running mate like in a campaign, and he's been showing up. And then I tried working with her. I tried not working with her and finding my own thing. And, like he's done all this stuff that was active. And then he can now like look back at all these times he's tried to have a conversation with her, the conversation that he had with her, at the bar with Greg. And like, he's said the words too. So it's like, what's the other option, like. And I think he came up with this structure of like, okay, like when did I blow it, what can I do about it? And um I really do think that this is the impact he was trying to have, like, because honestly, I think the more impressive thing would be to say, yeah, but can you do this over time? He has been.
Yeah. And that's again, that's the part I find romantic. And it's a lot unrequited through a lot of this season.
It really is, yeah.
And it was Felicity that she had to come to the realization. She was the one who wasn't on board. Like this was not in Ben's control. If
Mm-mm.
she hadn't come to that realization, this speech, I think, doesn't sway her
Yeah.
because it's just a speech again. If she is not seeing like her own fear and recognizing it, she's just going to keep pushing everything down.
Yeah. And I think
And
that's why it was so cool to have Mandy Foreman to talk to, because this really, when and we've heard listeners tell us like this is like the Mandy Foreman episode, this is the Meghan episode, like this, it's kind of a coming out party for her, because although it's not specifically her storyline, what an impact the conversations with Meghan have on where Felicity is. Um, So I agree. Like, I think that a lot of things get the assist here. And Felicity did have to come to the realization. Ben was working as hard as he possibly could for a really long time. He had a really big screw up that disrupted it, but he was working really hard to get her attention for a long time. And then there's the assist from all these other people in her world that are like, have you thought about this in a new context? You know, like have you really been looking at what this situation is lately? Like, I do think all of that was necessary. And I think that's why the ending to this episode is so special, because they got there through really an entire half season of planting this. Um,
Yeah, I guess it just, I don't know. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter.
oh, fish.
He could have said anything. She was ready to be up to be with him. He could have walked in the door and said, "Want to go get KFC?" And she would have been like, "Yes." Like, I get it. People, they're beautiful words, but they're not the culmination. Like, this is not the culmination. Uh, them being together on the roof, I think, is a culmination. Them kissing, her being in the right mindset, him having gone through all of this, change and effort, and, her overcoming her fears, and them being able to be together finally.
Mhm.
That's a culmination.
Yeah.
But like,
The
while
actual
this is a pretty
culmination
speech,
is the next scene, but we have to
yeah,
get there somehow. You know, like
yeah,
we have to.
sure. But the way they got there was through this, like, beautiful speech that wasn't necessary at
Well,
all.
we agree to disagree on this one, I think. Guys, my love letter to this episode is I have probably watched this speech 1,000 times because it's so amazing. So
It's a,
beautiful.
it is. It's a beautiful speech. It's just not necessary to the plot. She was already ready to go out with him, and he had already changed to the point that he was a good partner for her.
You know what, Fish? You are not necessary to the plot. I can't with you. I'm dying on this hill. We can agree to disagree.
We
This
can, but
scene
you
is an
also
amazing
agreed with
setup,
me earlier and said it wasn't necessary. So, like,
but I am absolutely not hung up on that. I think this is vital to get us to the next scene, because otherwise, why the hell are they on the roof watching the gold rush for
but
Charlie Chaplin?
they could have been
So,
doing anything.
I think you got to have a little context there. They're not just going to go mini golfing. Like,
No, but they could have had any type of romantic date. They could have gone on a lake, on in a boat. They could
oh my
have,
God,
you
Fish.
know,
Can we put some context to like how, like, I love that they did this, that they take a moment that was so painful from earlier in the show, and they're like, let's make the romantic gesture, let's make the turning point next scene one where we're like healing all of our own little wounded hearts. Ethnicity fans worldwide, it's like there's a lot of people who were rooting for this, and I think it just sucks to watch Kerry Russell's face at Bryant Park just slowly like reaching into her bag for whatever food she brought and looking around to everybody who's there with a date hugging each other, and she's like, "Aw." And you feel so bad for her, and I think for him to come back, and this is, I don't want them going on a boat in a lake, or like going to some other B&B in some other cabin in the woods. Like, I want something that has real meaning for a relationship that has had so much meaning. Either they're going to a blood bank together and they're
yeah, they
donating side by
could
side.
have been carving pumpkins,
But I
they
do
could
think
have
it makes
been.
more sense if it's something that has to do with the breakup than something from season one,
I
because
also think this is part of me, like, not having watched this a lot, because when he came in, and was like, the thing I would take back is, that night, then we were going to see a movie. And my initial reaction to that was, really? He has all these other screw ups, and you're going to blame it on something we've never seen?
But we did.
But that's the thing is I didn't remember
Yeah.
until he said Bryant Park. I was like, what are you talking about?
So they made a real point. That was an episode where they were packing for it, and he was juggling muffins and he was
Yeah, like
dropping
once he
them.
said like Bryant Park, I remembered,
Yeah.
oh yeah, okay, Bryant Park, she was alone, he wasn't there. But like I didn't really remember it that much, and I definitely didn't remember it
It's from a while ago. It's
from,
from
yeah, it
like
was like a
season
while
two,
ago.
episode two. And I think, they actually, though, gave more airtime to that stand up, like her getting, like, the setting up that date and her getting stood up got more play than the speech she gave to break up with him, or the fact that we get the one liner that he went to Mexico, or like really anything. Because they showed us not only the packing process to go to the picnic they were going to bring, and then they make it a point to have a whole scene of just watching her face and the setting, and seeing everybody on their little beach blankets, or I don't know, their park blankets, I don't know what you call them. And watching her watch their faces. So they had all that happen, and then they have another scene where she sees him at Dean and DeLuca the next day, or whenever she sees him next, and she's like, yeah, do you remember we were supposed to? And he was like, oh, Bryant Park, I totally forgot. I was with the guys, and he was like, maybe next time. She's like, yeah, that was the last one for the season. um it's fine, don't worry about it. So they actually had like at least three scenes that were dedicated exclusively to this major getting stood up on this date. Um, and if you don't remember that, if you're remembering something else more, then this wouldn't mean as much. But
Yeah, I definitely didn't remember a lot of that stuff. I remembered uh him not being Frankenstein at the Halloween
yeah,
party
yeah, that was
and
season
then making
one.
out with the pink Power Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
remember the
think
red
you could
dress.
pull from that stuff too, but I think it needed to be something that was more post I am the devil, like I think which is unfortunately how I chose to describe all that. But I think it needed to be something after the wooing to go on the road trip, because that was like when the relationship probably would have been, regardless of when you say this actual start date would have been. It's after that, and somewhere between there and the "you are a coward" bit, um you know picking something in that range probably would have landed better. I think that the pumpkin carving, he kind of already made up for that with the necklace. But
Well, I mean, I don't think he did anything wrong during the pumpkin
yeah, I don't
carving.
think so
It was
either.
just like a moment for them.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they
But
could have gone and stood together on a roof and she could have worn a red dress and they could have redone that scene where she was like, you know what? This doesn't have to be a relationship that
mhm.
that is too deep. And instead they could have looked into each other's eyes and said, we want to do this. We're all in. I'm like 100%. I am 100% here for you.
Yeah, I agree that that would be a good one, but I think he's already been like, that was so broad in terms of like, I need to be able to talk to you and be me. And he's been letting her be her and talking to her about her stuff for a whole season,
Yeah.
or for a half a season at this point.
Which
So it's a
again,
little harder to pinpoint.
that's that's where I see the romance. I mean, for me, this has been one long romantic journey.
Mhm.
And so I guess I'm just not as wowed by a speech when I've seen this whole thing as building.
Yeah, I agree. I see the whole thing as building, and I'm wowed by the speech, and I'm wowed by the next scene. And I love that they sort of transition from you're still on her face, that it's a time machine line is delivered, You're still on her face, and you hear the music start to blend into the next scene,
Hmm.
which we would have
Love that
heard.
song.
I do too. So we heard this scene with Heather Nova like lovers do. So here's the thing.
Yes.
The original song is a Sarah McLachlan song called Ice Cream. Fish, do you know that song?
I don't know that song.
Your love is better than ice cream, better than anything else that I've tried. Now, I've just
Um,
sung a little bit of that, and it is a very different pace. It is a very
yeah,
different vibe. I don't, it's not my favorite Sarah McLachlan song. I know a lot of people love that song on this scene. I can't imagine this scene with that song.
I'd have to, I probably have to see it because I like the song that we had, which was, all about being together with the person you love.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Sarah McLachlan song is pretty too. So I don't know.
It's like
I'd have to
slower
see
and a
it.
little bit sadder.
Yeah,
Um,
but that was the vibe. That's the show,
but
right?
that's not what I feel like this scene is. I like this scene for the so this scene. We're going to start from they sort of show us the establishing shot of Ben and Felicity probably sitting on an air mattress with they're looking out at a roof across the street. They've got a projector set up, and the film canister is playing the Gold Rush onto the roof. So we're seeing all of this set up from behind them. And then they're watching the Gold Rush. We're cutting between scenes from the Gold Rush playing on the building to they just keep looking at each other. Like there'll be a moment when one looks at the other and they'll turn away, and they'll look the other and turn away. And we're just seeing them do that a couple times. And then there's this moment when she looks at him, she holds the gaze, he looks at her. And I felt before they kiss, there's this moment of like total stillness that I felt. It was like nobody is running from anything. And then they kiss. And the song really really swells into the like lovers do. I want to feel that. So like we got this whole thing. And the song really built for me in a very effective way. And at that point, I want to cheer. I don't want to be here about like, oh, love is better than ice cream. Like, I just don't need something soulful here. I need something that's like really celebratory because I've been waiting for this moment for a while. I think if you're a Ben and Felicity fan, this is probably the moment you're waiting for. Let's face it. And if you're you're Felicity and Noel fan, I'm sorry, I've got nothing for you today. That's not this is not your episode, but I think we've obviously been having this building, and I want to hear this like this swell that happens. But I did think that that moment of stillness that I saw also just it did fit within this as we landed into that this scene.
Um, I can see how it would make it different. And again, I'd have to hear it because I don't know that I need to celebrate. Um, I guess I feel soulful music more.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm going to feel something for this scene, or any scene, I'm always going to feel it more intensely with that type of music behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sarah McLachlan or even like actual soul music and like, R&B, Motown, like whatever. I'm just always like stick Aretha on. I'm just going to feel it more.
Mm-hmm.
It hits me differently. And so I do feel like it would have been a much more intense scene for me
Mm-hmm.
if it didn't have kind of a more um, an upbeat tune with it. I
Mm-hmm.
still really like the song
Yeah,
and I like what it did here. I just feel like
you need to see it.
I also would have liked the Sarah McLachlan version in a
Mm-hmm.
different way
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
there's also something so angelic and bittersweet about the way that she sings. And what's nice is it at least gives it a little nod to the fact that these two people are coming together in this intense moment. It hasn't been easy.
Mm-mm.
And there is a little bit of bittersweetness because there has been pain.
Yeah.
But you feel it, right? It's like life, you know? It's just different than something that's just more upbeat and celebratory. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Different. But I love what they gave me in the DVD version. I wouldn't change a thing. There's a moment when they're kissing and they show that they're lit by the movie.
Mm.
And I just thought that was really beautifully done. It's mostly the light is on Kerry Russell's face, and you can just see the movie on their faces. It's like,
Yeah.
that's a really nice touch.
It's a gorgeously shot scene. Great. I love the fact that they are on a roof, that they're on the roof, and there's no way that Sean's going to come in and ask for dip.
They've learned, they know what's up here. They're experienced in this relationship and they understand. Yeah. I like Ben in this whole thing because he's like the most attractive he's ever looked to me here. He's just like being very he's being as calm as we've seen him in a really long time. He's watching this movie. It seems like he's really enjoying this movie. He's sort of leaned with his arms back a little bit, and he knows that she's looking at him, and he just sort of smiles to himself. And I think that moment when she looks at him just before she's about to kiss him, it's like he knows that he needs to let her come to him. Like, this needs to be initiated by Felicity. And she does. Like, he's put in the work that he needs to, and she's had whatever realizations she needs to have. And I think that sort of moment before where it's just like, okay, yeah, we'll do this. Like, I like that they have that, and that we as an audience sit with that.
He has moved the obstacles out of the way, and she is just being drawn toward him like magnets do. I would say I find him most attractive when he has that I don't know, the word isn't really mischievous, but like he's just got this smile and look. Like the full smile, where he's just, I don't know, he's so charming and attractive, and like, I don't know, it's like a shy kind of smile too. I don't know. That's my thing, but
an ode to Scott Speedman. Yes.
He's a good-looking man. Like, no one, well, maybe some people, I don't know everybody's taste, but like, I think you'd be hard pressed to find something wrong with Scott Speedman as like an attractive man. But I feel the same way about Scott Foley. So I think they're both very attractive men, and honestly, I think Tracy's really attractive, but not in the same way. He's much more personality driven.
Fair enough. Well, Fish, you're doing a new segment called "You Are the Worst," and I can't help but wonder, what on earth did you come up with for this episode?
This was not easy. This was not easy. It took me, and I was glad that I was able to watch this in advance, because I had to think about this for like a couple days and then really, narrow down and get to the person who was the worst.
Okay.
So, was that the intro? Should we let that be the intro?
I think so. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Love it. Here we go. All right. Bouncers. You're the worst.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the hot guy in the background keeping everybody safe. I mean the 70s velvet lapel jacket wearing motherfucker at the door.
Ah,
Your being friends with Meghan doesn't outweigh your initial rejection of Felicity, Elena, and Julie at the door. Your condescending, not you, not you, you, not you, doesn't make you seem discerning or powerful. It makes you look like a judgmental dick. The fact that you let Javier and Ben in only after they kissed isn't sweet. It's bigoted, you prick. You have no real power. Kevin Weissman slash Earl owns you, and you are the worst, you knock off Howard Stern look-alike.
wow.
Yeah, harsh words, very minor character.
There's nothing else to do it with in this episode. It's like chintzy gemstones. You're the worst. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I had feelings about this guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, thank goodness
He's the
that's what you
worst.
went with because if
I
you
mean,
had said
first
time
I
machines, you're the
came.
worst. I would think there would have been a riot on our hands. But
Well,
well
first
done.
I did Ben, then I did Love. I'm doing this particular bouncer. So, probably doesn't have as big an impact as the first two.
You know
But
what? No,
yeah,
nobody's safe. Okay, nobody and no thing is safe from the
yep,
"You're the Worst"
yep,
segment. Well, thank you for sharing that, Fish. That was really
yeah.
something. Um, shall we get into our favorite segment?
I absolutely think we should. I know this is going to be, or maybe you've been saving comments for this one,
There are
but
a
I
couple
know it's
comments
getting,
relevant to this one, and there are a couple from past episodes too that I want to lean into. But we are now embarking on the "after you listen to this tape, you have to erase it" segment, which is listener feedback because we love all you,
yay.
our family. So I'm going to do a couple from this episode or that relate to this episode first. So from @Colleen.Tenbus. Episode 21. Ben's time machine speech is the whole show for me. I love everything about it, how he admits he was running away, and how he put thought into what could be a meaningful gift for her. I hereby submit film canisters for your consideration for units of measurement for this episode's rating. I mean, he went all the way to New Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to give him credit. He braved Jersey for
Yeah,
her. So, I mean, that's fair.
it was no joke what he did there. Okay, we are finally able to bring in a piece of Allison
Allison,
Atwater's
I was wondering. I was like, come on, there's
in a
got to be
minute.
something.
But here we are, Allison. We're back. Okay, so she says, in season 2, although it was the most frustrating thing in the world when Sean talks Ben out of being with Felicity, telling him he isn't ready for her and would ruin things, I respect Ben's taking a step back to evaluate. I wish he hadn't stood her up, but I love the way he made up for it at the end of the season when he woos her again. Also, Sean's advice is the worst and truly plays into Ben's insecurities, but I do appreciate that it made Ben truly examine what he wanted and ultimately only strengthened his determination to be with Felicity. I also respect that he didn't expect her to wait until he made up his mind, like a certain someone in season 1. Shots fired. Allison, that was savage. Yeah, we've been waiting a while to hear more snippets from Allison's treatise. And
Yes,
there we had it.
that's amazing. She is correct about Noel. However, I'm sure in the Noel treatise, there are probably also shots fired about things like, I don't know, ditching her for Mexico.
There's a lot in the Noel treatise, and I'm going to probably pull in a bunch of that in the season recap. It's tough because there's like some spoilery stuff for future seasons in it, but I think it'll land better at the season recap. at the point when we got it, it was like we moved out of it so quickly. The Noel stuff in season 2, we hardly had any time in that storyline. So, yeah, it'll be fun to check in on some of that stuff too. Um, at Insta.Mickey, I said a few different things. So first, because this sort of a little bit ties into what Allison just said, I'll say, oh my God, redeeming Sean in this episode. And this is from the documentary episode. Noticing how smitten Ben was, I think he maybe felt the need to make up for sabotaging them in the beginning of the year and, create the perfect ending for the documentary. So I think this is just sort of a nod to, one of the assists that we got. But at Insta Mickey has a little bit more to share on this from previous episodes we've covered. So the magnets theory from Fish is just gold medal and a trophy for Fish for that.
Well, we'll see
And
if that still stands after this episode. After this episode.
yeah, well, it's a journey. And it's not because I don't love Felicity. I do. But when she is not right, like when a friend of mine is not, we call her out too. Running against Greg was ridiculous indeed, in the election. So some thoughts from Insta.Mickey on that one. Got a couple more here. One from also episode 18 from at Vanessa Manet. The scene with the kid in the clinic is so cute and sweet. And I think this is when her feelings for Ben started to show through again. It's interesting to see the different moments that people really felt the transition happening. So that was one that she picked up on. And I'm just going to, pull up a more overarching comment from Heather O'Brien. Melissa and Fish. I'm cracking up about all the Al, the security guard conversation right now, literally dying and laughing out loud. So classic. Al nailed it while Ben has some handcuffs. On another note, we might need to go back to the script because I too remember a jinx and a coke, like Fish said, between Felicity and someone. Maybe Ben or Noel. It definitely happened somewhere. Much love to you both.
Yeah, I went to go look for it and I couldn't find anything. I thought maybe even it had to do with like Julie. I don't know. I think what I'm actually thinking of is the Jinx You Owe Me a Coke scene from The Office between Pam and Jim.
Okay.
I think that might be what I'm thinking of. I don't know why I feel like it happened in this show too, but I can't find any evidence of it. So,
well, listeners, if somebody does remember a scene from the show Felicity, you just let us know because we're curious. Well, all kinds of fun comments from some past episodes and also from this one. I think this is a really big episode for Benicity fans.
Or as they're otherwise known, Fen.
Fen. Sorry, guys. Oops. I did that. That's the thing that I did earlier today. Some hours ago, I dropped that. So, Fish, it's time for us to rate this episode. Mm-hmm. Did you want to go first?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, just as I suspected. So I am little nod to Colleen Tenbus. This my unit of measurement here is going to be film canisters. I did this for you, not for Fish.
Nope.
I did it for you and me and everybody else. 10 out of 10, guys. I don't know. This is one of the 10 out of 10 episodes I had in mind from, early on. Finally and the ARETHA Theory are my two favorite episodes. And, the 10 out of 10 we both had for
the wallpaper one.
I will come up with that in just a moment. The 10 out of 10 we both had for, that was episode 14. I'll go find the name of that. I want to say like Truth or Consequences, maybe.
Could have been.
was, oh no, True
A s-
Colors. I think it was True Colors. Um, that was unexpected for me. I didn't know that was coming. This one
Me
I knew
too.
was coming. And this is like the comfort episode of comfort TV. Like for me, I could watch this anytime and feel better about life. And and it also taps into like the emotion for me. And I have to say, this might be a controversial thing to say, but um, if I think of this is like the perfect rom-com ending. This is like the and they live happily ever after ending that you would see in a lot of movies. And to be honest with you, had the show ended for me right here, I would have been fine with that. In fact, some of the stuff they're going to give us later, I could do without. But I'm still
But then
always
you'd
happy to have the show
only,
Felicity.
yeah, then you'd
Um,
only have like, you'd have less than 2 full seasons.
I know. I mean, I'm happy to have more show of Felicity, but for me, this is like the best, most satisfying this will ever be because, if you're going to get them together and they're not just going to like make them happy for 2 seasons, like that's not a thing that you do in TV. It's rarely done in TV where you see a couple and they just like are happily together with no conflict or drama for the rest of the run of the show. That's not really a thing for most TV shows. So
It
like,
happens a lot with like the secondary characters, like
yeah,
How I Met Your Mother, um, Marshall and Lily.
yeah, but something like this, that's like the main focal point. It's, as much as they'll try to, I don't know. It's so for me, like this is just wow, this is just like the celebratory happy moment they're together. And I want that to be a really happy, positive relationship. And I believe it will be. And I'm so encouraged by this moment at the end of this episode. And so it, this would have been a fine ending for me. And then we have more stuff that comes after, and that's fine too. But I just love this episode.
Yeah, so Melissa has climaxed and she's currently having a cigarette. And that's cool. I mean, I I'm gonna be interested to see what happens during the actual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because we haven't really seen them in a relationship.
I
And for
know.
me, the best parts of a relationship, like, are the sexual tension and flirting before you get together. And then you get together and it's a little awkward. And then you get to a point where you're really comfortable with each other and there's like this easy affection. And I love that stage of the relationship where it's like, you know exactly like how to put your hand on your partner so they feel safe. Like, you know each other, and
Mm-hmm.
there's that deeper connection of like, hey, like we can fight, like other stuff can happen, but at our core, like we're in love and we're in this together.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that and we feel confident in it. And so I want to see that. Like I want to see how they are in a relationship. I want to see them be affectionate. I want to see them like, wow all their friends with like, hey, we finally did it. So I don't know. I,
Mm-hmm.
I, I would not be happy if it ended this episode. I want more.
There's definitely lots of good stuff, lots of really interesting stuff coming up, and also some, stuff I could have done without.
Yeah,
But that's how it is. It's life.
that's fair. Um, we have another new segment um, called I'd Like You to Say Something. And I feel like this is a good time to start that out. Basically, it involves if I think Melissa is getting a little too much on the positive side, I can say, I'd like you to say something mean about whatever. And if she thinks I'm getting too negative about something, she can say to me, I'd like you to say something nice. It's only fair. So yeah, Melissa, I'd like you to say something mean about this episode.
Something mean about this episode.
Yeah, it doesn't even
Leaving,
have to be the last two scenes. I know you love them, so you can leave them alone.
yeah,
But like something, give me something, some
sure.
critique.
Leaving toothpaste on your face. Okay. Well, even after you've been told there's still toothpaste on your face, the only thing that you have to do is wipe it off with your finger. You're at a sink, or take a piece of toilet paper, wipe it off with the toilet paper, throw it in the toilet or some sort of trash. That is also acceptable. You know what isn't acceptable? Leaving a bunch of toothpaste on your face.
While running throughout the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this
All
was
right.
going to be hard for me.
I didn't. I know you. I know you have your like improv thing. I just thought this would be a good time because you're like so positive about it, and sometimes, even though you're the optimist, you do also critique the episodes.
And I just
So,
came in with the hard-hitting take about toothpaste on the
I
face.
mean, for all of you like toothpaste guzzlers, I mean, at
Consider
Melissa.
your actions. Oh my goodness. Well, Fish, how did you rate this episode?
I mean, it's not going to be a 10 out of a 10 for me. I loved Meghan. I mean, I loved the deepening of the relationship with Felicity. I think Julie's outfit was a train wreck, like dumpster fire of an outfit. I did love that jacket. Love the dancing. Love Earl. Richard is, I mean, perfect. Smoking his cigar, doing his little mambo dance. Drunken conversations like Nail from Head. So there's a lot to really like about it. I wasn't a big fan of like some of the like Club and Javier stuff and like Ben's reaction to Javier like hugging him. And in general, sort of, I don't know, a bit of stereotyping of maybe like the outcast or something like that. And just that went along with the club. Obviously, I didn't like the bouncer. And yeah, I mean, beautiful words, but this last speech did not do it for me. I found the stuff with Javier to be more romantic. I don't know. It's just me. I'm more practical, but it's still a good episode. So I will give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, 8 out of 10. Don't worry, listeners who love Felicity, or Fen, as we're calling it now. You've got a 10 out of 10 on this, and you've got an 8 out of 10. Okay,
yeah.
This is something for everybody.
Really good scores. I mean,
excellent
it's not like I gave it a 0.5. I mean, what kind of Felicity fan would give an episode a 0.5?
Not anyone that I respect. Oh my goodness. Well, we want to hear all of your feedback, and we know you have it. Okay. We know you have it. Just tell us. Just tell us. All right. So if you have anything you'd like to share with us, you can find us at themelissafish@gmail.com. That's Melissa with 1 L, 2 S's, themelissafish@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram at Felicity Podcast. And then if you want to know when we drop a new episode, go ahead and check out the link to sign up for our newsletter, which you'll find in the show notes. So you can find that link in the show notes. Just sign up and we'll let you know when we have new episodes that come out. And while you're there, if you have a chance, go ahead and rate and review us if that's an option, wherever you're listening to this podcast. Now, next time, Fish, we're going to talk about an episode called Final Answer. What do you think that's about?
Uh, we already know that Samuel said yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what questions are outstanding? Ben and Felicity are together. It could be Sean and Julie. That's outstanding. So maybe Sean finally asks Julie out and we get her answer.
All right. That is Fish's final answer on guessing what the episode final answer is about, Mary Meta.
Yeah.
Well, Fish, anything we missed today?
I can't imagine.
Okay.
We went through this fully, and
This is a love
we
letter.
had an interview with Mandy Foreman to back up, a lot of what we were thinking and to hear more about it. And you guys will have already heard that. So I think we have a lot of content on this episode now.
We sure do. And this is our legacy to all of you. That's right. Well, until next time, Fish, don't hook up with Ben while I'm gone.
I'm a fish.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.